Let's roll, rolling Atlas Thug. We here to bring the truth. Jar open this podcast. We breaking through the fake news. They try to silence us, but we will be subdued. We're bearded alpha males here to save the youth. Spitting fire on the mic with the bass Christian takes. Exposing the lies, keeping the demons at bay. We ain't afraid to speak up. We won't be swayed. Jar open this podcast where the truth is laid. Jar openers, cracking open the lies. We're rolling Atlas Thug. We're here to rise. Bearded alpha males saving the youth from the godless demons, spreading the truth. We ain't playing games, we're on a mission to awaken the masses with our intuition. Pulling out the corruption with no inhibition. Jar open this podcast, sparking a revolution. We're not afraid to stand tall in a world full of deceit. We're the voice of reason, bringing light to the street. Keeping it real, never missing a beat. Jar open this podcast where the truth meets the heat. Jar openers, cracking open the lies. We're rolling Atlas Thug, we're here to rise. Bearded alpha males saving the youth from the godless demons, spreading the truth. Jar open this podcast where the truth will never cease. Join us on the journey to bring back peace. We're rolling Atlas Thug, fearless in our release. Jar open this podcast where the lies will decrease.
All right. Welcome in, everybody. As you can see, Atlas is not here tonight. We have just me as a special guest. She is a Jar Openers groupie, as you guys can tell from the title, from the little subheader there. Oh, you know what? I forgot to mute my phone. It's one of those rare times I have my phone not muted. My phone. See everybody in chat.
Atlas shaved.
Atlas shaved. Yeah, this is what Atlas looks like shaved and sounds like. The beard makes a huge difference. What's up, Steve? What's up, Donnie? Hi, Shauna.
Yes, Steve, try your best.
Tix Bomber. Hellhound. Howdy. Hope everybody's having a good Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right? Yeah. A lot of news going on today, as it is any day under Trump so far, pretty much. We got let me see, what's this? Okay. Sorry, slight distraction. Hey, what's up, Harold? Good to see you, buddy. We got a lot of stuff going on with these JFK files that were released. First batch was released just under 24 hours ago. It was 7:30 last night. Or at least I think that was Eastern. Anyways, I saw 7:30, so I'm going with Eastern. It's 7:05 Eastern right now, just so you guys know. And then the second batch dropped at I think it was 10 or maybe 10:30 last night. Apparently, we don't have all the files. We have the word is there's still 3,000 to 3,500 that are yet to be released, not going to be released. I'm not real sure, but apparently we don't have them all, which granted, it's up to 80,000 total. I don't know if that 80,000 was including these 3,500 or not, but Steve, yeah, you're right. I don't know if, like I was saying, if that 3,500 is included in this 80,000, but it's a lot of information to look through. I've already seen Democrats saying what a nothing burger this has been. Just they have to crap on anything Donald Trump does. And, you know, to be honest, it's only been 24 hours. There's a lot of stuff to look through. So more will be discovered over the next few days. Even the AIs can't really analyze the 80,000, or at least Grok. People have been trying to have Grok analyze the 80,000 files, or what we have right now. And Grok is basically kind of just spitting out what we've already known this whole time. So that's an interesting kind of observation. I've noticed that Grok hasn't really deviated from like what we know about this whole story, like, and what we've known even before the document dropped. So I don't know, maybe that was just some default protocol. Not really sure. By the way, Atlas is supposed to join us in about an hour. He's running a little late, has to deal with some family stuff. No big deal or anything like that. It's just a time thing, right? Busy guy.
Well, I just think it's suspicious, though, that the 3,000 files, is that what was you said about 3,000 files that are missing?
Yeah, the estimation is 3,000 to 3,500.
Okay, so they gave us everything that tells us nothing, and then they kept the, I don't know, the important stuff out, I guess.
Potentially. The thing is, what I've heard of, from these reports so far, and everybody's doing their own kind of deep dive, and we'll go down a couple rabbit tunnels or whatever they're called, couple paths, rabbit holes. Yeah, there we go. We'll go down a couple of those during this, because some people have been completely on it. And although, I didn't know what to expect. And I don't know what you guys were expecting to get out of this either. Like a hard confirmation that there was a second shooter. Just maybe confirmation of what we kind of assumed. I've seen a lot of that. I've seen a lot of confirmation of what we already kind of assumed, or what the conspiracy theories were that are now confirmed truth. But I've been thinking about that a lot today, just kind of like, man, what did I really expect out of this? I even if it did come out, like, what was I hoping for? What was I expecting? What did I don't know, right? But there's been some people in this that are really going down some rabbit holes, and there's some good information. We've learned they were trying to, they're not trying to, but they were basically plotting, essentially using biochemical warfare released from planes, with the whole cloud seeding or not and everything like that controversy that goes on nowadays. It's kind of like, okay, so they were working on stuff like that back then. And I think he was killed in 1962, 1963, something like that. I should know that by heart, but for some reason I don't have it precisely memorized. But I mean, you're talking 60 years ago, 60 plus years ago now. What has that technology turned into today? Amongst a bunch of other things, really, just particularly kind of what we've learned about, in particular, individuals that were more directly related to the story, what happened to them and their kind of timeline, stuff like that. Involvement from multiple other countries. It's so weird. Apparently the CIA had a warning from British intel 3 months before the assassination. There was a warning, apparently, and this is just what we're getting here. It's so weird. It's all kind of just flying by. There was a warning 30 minutes prior from Russian governments to the British. We'll that I got that one saved on file here that we'll look into. It's just weird. It's like, how was so many countries involved, and who was the main one, if there is one? It's pretty wild. What's up, Chris? What's up, Evil Elmo? See what's going on in the chat here real quick.
Well, to answer your kind of question that you had earlier about what did we expect, like what was I hoping for and what was I expecting, was, yeah, absolutely confirmation that there was multiple shooters, the CIA's involvement. I wanted to see like top secret documents that they've been hiding this whole time. Like, what would the reason be for them to be hiding this whole time if it weren't to cover up what they did? Was my opinion on things. So that's what I was hoping to see when they were saying that they were going to release those documents. That's what I was looking forward to seeing.
Right.
So.
I got you. TNT mentions we need someone to go down to Washington and view these files directly. A lot of copies are hard to see in person. Maybe they're easier to decipher. And yeah, that's true. And it's a little bit of a side note, but one of the things that they've been trying to do from the Department of Education is erase cursive, like the teaching of cursive for little kids from the curriculum. And a lot of these documents are written in cursive. So if you don't understand cursive, it just looks like a squiggly line on the page. And there's potentially a whole generation of individuals out there. If they are, I don't have any young kids or anything like that, so I'm not 100% if that's what they're doing with cursive or not. But there's potentially a lot of people out there that couldn't even read these documents, even if they were clear, just because of the cursive factor. But I do agree with you there, TNT. A lot of these hard copies would probably be much easier to read than what we're getting out of these documents. They're pretty scratchy, and you can tell that they're old, or at least if it's a deep fake of sorts, they're at least presenting them like they're old. They're trying pretty hard. I had a Democrat friend that I refer to a lot in my group chat. He mentioned that, now we're trusting the FBI government to release this information to us, and it's all real. And I had asked him, I was like, yeah, I mean, that's kind of true, but at the same time, who else should have the information? They're the ones that did the investigation at the time and stuff. So I don't know. It's just at this point, it is what it is. We have to take it all kind of with a grain of salt. But at least the documents they're presenting to us are, a lot of them, original documents that have been scanned, and they appear to be old. So who knows, right?
Right. Well, I'm personally on the camp of not trusting the government myself. So, I hate to say that I agree with him, but
yeah,
I don't trust the government.
Yeah, it was a good point. But at the same time, like I said, it's just who else would have that information? Right. So it's either we get it from them or we get nothing. So I guess we'll just
take what we can get.
Take what we can get and have it like that. Let's see here. Pinky is not the genius said, I wasn't shocked by anything I saw. Everyone knew it was. Let's see here. Donnie said he wanted to see no second shooter, or that there was a second shooter potentially, find out what went on with that. And if the people in the car were actually the ones that killed him, because I've seen this video going around on X for a while and it has zero. I've never seen it once get the community notes where it looks like the driver of the car literally reaches back like this and shoots, and that would explain JFK's head going back into the left, right? And so there's rumors that it's been part of the video has been clipped out, which would be probably that clip. I don't know. I'm looking forward to people with a better capacity of filtering through this type of information in these files than I am doing some of the legwork and research here, so that we can have a nice little trove of information. But let's see here. Let's see here. Donnie also mentions the president being killed by a foreign power and cover up is relevant, even if it happened a while ago. Yeah, 100% agree with that. That's definitely why we need to try to get to the bottom of this and not just let the assassination of a president, although it was 60 some years ago, just be left untouched. Text bomber, hey babe, want to know who killed Kennedy? Nick Cage. What is that from? National Treasure or something like that? Those are good movies, by the way. I haven't seen them for a while. Should go back and watch them. It'd be like watching them for the first time. Eva Elmo says you can't read the original documents of the founding of our country without knowing cursive. You got to rely on someone to tell you your rights. Yeah, 100% reason why they would want us to stop teaching cursive. TNT says they stopped teaching cursive years and years ago in Oregon. Tix Bomber says they can't read. WTF is getting rid of cursive going to do? That's pretty funny. Let's see here. Well, let me let this dog in the room. She's going to sit out here and whine. So let me let her in real fast, and then we'll get into some of this stuff.
Hi, everybody. Oh, no, it's from The Rock.
All right. Okay, so yeah, everybody make sure before we get into this, of course, do the typical YouTube Rumble thing and make sure you hit the like button, share this live with all of your friends, and of course, subscribe those of you who are on America First TV channel, I want to let you know we are trying to consolidate the show, Atlas and I, over to the new channel. It's actually, the link is in the description. It's the Jar Openers podcast channel. And eventually we're going to shut the show down on his and our individuals, and just have it over there so we can get all the chat and everybody all in one place. You know, it's a better formula, business formula going forward to consolidate everything and not confuse the YouTube algorithm on where to send people and stuff like that. So most of the chat hopefully is going to be going on over in the Jar Openers podcast channel. And I have a dog that's begging me to pet her. Okay, so
Evil Elmo said, "Oh my God, you killed Kennedy, you bastards!" Oh,
that's funny. You killed Kennedy. I see that right there.
You bastard.
Steve says, "I'm just glad we finally have a guest who doesn't look like they belong in ZZ Top." How? Just me should have worn a fake beard to start the show.
Oh, I should have.
Yeah, that would have been funny. That would have been maybe next time.
Yeah.
All right, let me share my screen. I forgot to share the screen before the show started, guys. All right. And let's go to this one. She could totally be in the She Got Legs video. Hey, what's up, Jamie? Not that you act like a dude or anything. That's funny.
Well, he just said because he wasn't sure. You know, for my name, just
Oh,
me,
I see.
my girl or guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I see now.
He's like, now he knows.
Yeah, we like having women viewers. It helps the algorithm, right?
We actually have several women in our group.
Yeah.
Me and Jamie and Earl's daughter and Andrea. Am I missing anybody?
We used to have Cora. I haven't seen her for a while. Shauna. Maybe another one in there. But we're gonna start here. Actually, we're gonna start here. That was me just scrolling around. Okay, so let me scroll all the way up. This is a thread we're gonna go through. I don't know who George Christensen is. I think it says ex-politician. I think he's actually over there in Australia from some of the stuff that I was reading through. But let's see here. Oh yeah, Kukla. Haven't seen Kukla for a while. Kukla's a woman.
Oh, and what about LOL a Marble?
Yeah.
Is she a woman too? I think so.
Yeah, I believe so.
So yeah, we have several women in groupies with the jar openers. We might be close to half and half. I don't know. Maybe not quite half and half, but good number.
LOL Marble's here. Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
And I'm here. So anyways, let's start with this one from George Christensen. The FBI files Australia, the CIA, and a 60-year cover-up. The official story is dead. Declassified docs prove JFK wasn't killed by a lone gunman. It was a coup covered up by intelligence agencies worldwide. And guess what? Australia's ASIO Gov AU was in on it. So I assume that's Australian Security Intelligence Organization. Maybe that's like their FBI or something like that. And let's see here. Starts off with this one right here. A year before JFK's... Here, maybe I can make these bigger. A year before JFK's assassination, the U.S. Embassy on Canberra got a call. Quote, the Iron Curtain countries put a $100,000 bounty on Kennedy's head. A day after he was killed, another call came, this time blaming the Soviets. Coincidence? Not a chance. And so let's look at these real quick if I can get them to blow up. See, and this is what I mean. This is what I totally agree with, where TNT was mentioning that it's just not going to get bigger. Dang. This is what TNT was talking about. Somebody needs to go down there and put their actual eyes on it. Dang. This one doesn't actually let me blow it up. Does this one? Okay. The other ones were. All right. I was going to say, I went through all these and most of them were much bigger. So anyways, I guess we'll move on to the next one here. The CIA brushed off these calls as crank messages, but if they were meaningless, why did AISO beg the CIA to keep them classified? 5 years later, ASIO's chief, Sir Charles Spry, wrote to the CIA, do not declassify this file. And you have here basically the letter. Your Melbourne station has saw my views on the possibility of declassifying a Warren Commission security service. Warren security document in which reference is made to the Australian Security Service. The document in question is CD 71971. I can't read. From May 1964, together with an attached dated 29th November 1963. I would recommend strongly that the CD 971 and its attachment should not on any account be declassified or publicly released for reasons which include are the following. It has never been officially stated that there is a CIA Canberra station or that there are CIA officers in Australia. This has been avoided as a point of policy. And see, that's what I think is kind of sorry, Chris, that's a good point. I don't know how to make people mods. I'm going to look into that, but you're right. I think I have to do it within the YouTube thing, but I'll do that here in just a second. But that first point right there, it's never been officially stated that there is the CIA. So basically what they're saying is by admitting this, you're also admitting by default that there's a American CIA located in Canberra Station in Australia. And so I think that like these type of scenarios is why the release of this type of documentation, like whether it be from the Epstein files or this or 9/11 or whatever, is they're giving away kind of trade secrets, right? They're by default giving up other information that they've been trying to keep secret this whole time. And so it's a detailed, delicate game that they're playing with releasing these files. And like I said, there's been some good little chunks of information that have come out secondarily to the actual assassination of JFK, just confirming like this right here, this release of this file, in my opinion, confirms that the CIA was operating in this place in Australia, where it was never, at the time at least, for policy reasons, security, whatever, confirmed to the public.
Right. But did you just say when you were reading that document that document had something to do with showing some sort of guilt on their part, that they were involved in it?
Not yet. The header to it is the CIA brushed off these calls as crank messages, but if they were meaningless, why did AISO beg the CIA to keep them classified? So,
okay.
And what he's talking about was the $100,000 bounty put on Kennedy's head.
Right. So that didn't come from the Australian government? Who did that come from? Or that went
this is a letter. This is a letter from the Australian ASIO, which I assume is like their FBI CIA? Intelligence agency,
okay.
Begging the CIA to keep this classified so that they don't, confirm that one point right there. But then also this says publication of this fax would invoke a spate of questions by the press and in Parliament, which would be contrary to the national security interest. For example, who appeared on the establishment of the CIA Canberra station? Who approved of the CIA Canberra station? what is its composition and location? What is its purpose in Australia? Allegedly, their allegations have already been made that CIA is interfering in Australian domestic affairs with the Australian agencies. With what Australian agencies does it deal with? ASIS, which has not been publicly disclosed, could be brought into discussion. So there's other agencies that could be brought in. It appears that they already have been questions from the Australian people that why is the American CIA over here? We want to be left alone. We don't want, them messing with our politics, essentially.
So basically, I get why they didn't want that out. They're like, it's going to cause problems for us. But as far as the people deserve to know. Like you said, they're going to be like, well, why are they over here? We don't want them over here. It's the people. Like the government is supposed to work for the people. So the people shouldn't have that information and they should be able to speak out against it, in my opinion. So in my opinion, too bad for them. We should have released it before, and I'm glad it's released now. And too bad for them. They're trying to keep secrets.
Right. It's just
to benefit their own selves.
Yeah, keeping secrets to protect their lives, essentially.
Right. So I don't feel sorry for them.
So I see Donnie says right here, they're okay with the release as long as it limited discussing Ben Shapiro's favorite countries' involvement, and for some reason, Australia. Yeah, and we'll get to that actually. That was like the two main things they were trying to protect, and they wanted like everything involving those two countries like redacted and stuff like that. So we'll definitely get into that here in a minute too. Because I got that one pulled up. Donnie says, I wonder if they'll do similar things with Epstein and 9/11. Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing. I want to know more about 9/11 than I do Epstein. I think at this point, I think the Epstein thing is just going to be confirming what we already know, and it's a big linchpin. And I think that since Trump's administration had it already for a bit, Biden's administration had it for a bit, who knows what names have been taken off and added to that whole Epstein list, and how much tampering. And, the same thing could apply really to this JFK files. So it's once again why we're taking it with a grain of salt and just analyzing what we have seen and what we've been given so far to this point. Steve said, what's a mod? Is that a Discord thing? Because I don't know anything about that either. No, a mod is a person in chat on YouTube that kind of helps keep the chat clean and can have a little bit extra permissions and stuff like that. They can boot people, they can time out people, and people with super busy chats, super busy streams typically have mods in there to help kind of regulate the conversation and keep it from going super haywire.
Short for moderator.
Yeah. TNT says, I wonder if they want it classified because of the content or because they were hiding the Australian spy agency. See, that's what I'm thinking. I think it's just a web of lies that they're trying to protect. Not necessarily because of the content. I mean, look, it's 65 years later. I mean, they're almost an entire lifetime separated from, from this. Three of my little brother's lifetime separated from this. So
Funny.
Let's see. Andrew says, isn't Roger Stone saying Ben Shapiro's favorite country was involved too? Or did I read that wrong? Yeah. It's weird. It's like Russia, UK, I know there's a bunch of countries, but Australia, Israel, United States, it's like every government was out there plotting this or seemed to have known ahead of time or something, right? Yeah, this is just where we're starting right here. XGen said, I heard there was things about Jews doing it. Apparently, was that true or people making things up? No, it's looking like it's potentially true. It's kind of a scary thought to think that, what people have assumed for a long time, that our American government is owned Might be, right? But we're like I said, we're starting off with this one right here because this was a good thread. But the CIA director Richard Helms agreed, saying that there was every reason to keep it secret. The File Warrant Commission document CD 971 was finally declassified in 1976, but portions were blacked out. What was ASIO and the CIA so desperate to hide? 417, let's see. Thank you for your letter in October recommending against declassification of the Warren Commission. I cite section that our inquiry to you in August was in anticipation of further pressure for the release of Warren Commission papers. The procedure was not these letters are so bad. The process maybe was not materialized. Accordingly, there is not in this present time. I think this other one is the one. Oh, that one I can't read at all. Dang. So now let's talk about John Garrett Underhill Jr., a man who knew too much. The day after JFK was shot, he fled Washington in a panic. He told friends a small clique within the CIA killed Kennedy. That's a quote. And then another quote, I may have to leave the country. 6 months later, he was dead.
That's a huge story.
Right. And so I don't ever remember hearing about John Garrett Underhill Jr. when you watch any of the documentaries and stuff like that. I could be wrong about that, but this dude apparently, like it says right here, a man who knew too much. So the day after he was shot, he fled Washington in a panic, and he told friends a small clique within the CIA killed Kennedy. So that was his belief, and it potentially cost him his life. Underhill was no random guy. He was an intelligence insider with Pentagon ties, and here's where it gets really insane. He was linked to Interarmco, a CIA-based arms dealer. Interarmco was tied to the very store where Oswald bought the rifle. Okay, and I'm not even going to try to read some of these anymore. I can actually read this one. The day after the assassination, Gary Underhill left Washington in a hurry. Late in the evening, he showed up at home, the home of friends in New Jersey. He was very agitated. A small clique within the CIA was responsible for the assassination. He confined, and he was afraid for his life and probably would have to leave the country. Less than 6 months later, Underhill was found shot to death in his Washington apartment. The coroner ruled it suicide.
I knew it.
Right. Let's see here. J. Garrett Underhill has been an intelligence agent during World War II and was a recognized authority on limited warfare and small arms, a researcher and writer on military affairs. He was on a first-name basis with many of the top brass in the Pentagon. He was also on intimate terms with a number of high-ranking CIA officials. He was one of the agency's people who performed special assignments. At one time, he had a friend of Samuel Cummings of Interarmco, the arms broker that numbers amongst its customers, that numbers amongst its customers, the CIA, and ironically, Klein Sporting Goods of Chicago, where from whence the mail order Carano allegedly was purchased by Oswald. So that would be the gun. So he had some kind of ties there and maybe some insider information. And that's just one part of it, because I did see that there's other warnings in these documents that says that Lee Harvey Oswald will be the assassin, and he will that he has or has ordered the weapon. So it's like all pre-assassination essentially. Let's see here.
Yeah, I mean,
TNT, I didn't see that, and I'm glad I didn't.
what?
He said off top. Did you see the X?
See it.
Okay.
Oh. I'm glad I didn't see it either. So I know you were saying I am not allowed to say certain things. I don't know if I can say, well, I guess I can't say it. Anyways, I just want to say that it seems like something that's something that would happen to somebody who knew too much about the Clintons, basically, is the best way of putting that. Like
Right.
same type of scenario. He knew too much,
Mhm.
and so he offed himself.
Yeah, Steve said that he got Clinton.
Right.
So, Chris.
Okay. I can say it that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. It's on Colin Rugg's timeline. Oh, good. Okay. I'll avoid Colin Rugg's timeline for a little bit then. So he says, continuing, he says, let that sink in. The CIA's favorite arms dealer had a direct link to the rifle that the lone gunman Oswald allegedly used to kill JFK. This wasn't just an assassination. It was an inside job. The CIA and FBI were tracking Oswald for months before JFK was shot. The CIA wiretapped Oswald talking to KGB agents in Mexico City. The FBI had advance notice that Jack Ruby was going to kill Oswald, and they let it happen.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the way I see it, JFK was trying to save America. He knew, what was going on behind the scenes that a lot of Americans didn't know. He was trying to fight back against it. He was trying to buck the system, and, the powers that be weren't trying to let him get away with it. And it's kind of the same thing they were trying to do to Trump. I'm not 100% convinced that they're not going to continue to try to do it with Trump, because they don't want anybody to buck the system and to support actually we the people, as opposed to sticking to their plan of what they have. That's my opinion.
Yeah, totally. I was looking, I thought I had something in here. I wanted to actually start this off. I forgot what I was going to start off with till right now. Poor chicken. Her legs aren't working right. They need them to heal up.
Are you ever going to show us the chicken?
And can you see her right there?
Oh, barely.
Here, do like this. There you go.
Oh, poor thing.
Her poor little leggies.
Oh.
I feel bad for her. Hey, Views with Hughes. How's it going, man? Thanks for the $5. That's cool. It says, I think they're still teasing us. Christ is king. Amen, brother. Good to see you, and thanks for stopping in, dude. Good old Views with Hughes. He has a good channel over there, Culture. He's more culturally, he likes to talk about Star Wars saga and what's going on with Disney, amongst a lot of other things. I don't want to pigeonhole him or anything like that, but he's got a good little channel over there. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Six Bomber says, by chance, do you mean the very thing JFK was talking about in the first half of the most famous speech? Oh, at Chris.
What did Chris say?
Let's see, the rogue government out of control. Yeah, that's pretty much the video that I was looking for. That I was going to play that. I thought I had it saved.
What did Chris say? I don't see it. He's replying to Chris.
He was saying, it's what I said. Let's see here, rogue government out of control.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like what we still have had this whole time, like my whole lifetime, my entire lifetime.
Chris said if it was a rooster, Tyler said he's showing us this. Entertainment and pop culture news. Yeah, that's you worded it better than I could. So guys, check out Views with Hughes, by the way. No links, but you can look it up. You guys know how to use YouTube. But yeah, let's see here. Where did that go? I was just throwing things so fast into the timeline the last hour and a half that maybe it didn't actually get transferred over, or I put it in the wrong slot. Nope, it's just not in there. Maybe, give me a second. Okay, never mind. Never mind. So let's continue here. So yeah, but see here also I mentioned the KGB agents in Mexico City. I mean, like, was there any country not involved? Have some kind of involvement? It's crazy.
I know. That is crazy. I mean, I had heard, so therefore suspected that our own government was involved. I didn't even fathom that other governments were involved.
Right.
But when you think about it and you think about the big global plan, you know what I mean? It kind of makes sense when you think about it in that aspect. When you're thinking about there's a global plan to control us globally. So getting them together, getting one world order put together, you know what I mean? It makes sense that other countries would be involved because like, whoa. This American's going to shake things up for our plan. And we have to keep our plan, you know, in line. So whatever we have to do to step in, that's what we're going to do. I mean, you know, and they would be after Trump for that too. Like I said.
Yeah. It's apparently JFK was threatening the wrong people. But mere hours after Oswald was silenced, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover wrote a memo. Poor girl. I have to go pick her up. Not find out the truth, investigate all possibilities, instead convince the public that Oswald acted alone. That was their priority. So it wasn't really investigation. It was crowd control, right? It was controlling the narrative.
Controlling the narrative, 100%. The exact same thing that they still do today. Where they make up this narrative and then they have all the talking heads say the exact same thing over and over and over, trying to push that narrative out so that all the people just blindly repeat it and believe it. That's what it is. Oh, you're so pretty.
Ugh. Set her up over here.
You're
maybe
so
she'll
fluffy and pretty.
She starts squawking whenever she wants to move around because it hurts her, I guess.
Come here. You're pretty too. Come here. Come here. You can do it. Good girl.
We both got animals going crazy. Sorry about that, Jill. Earl's daughter says, "Hey everyone, just me. You're on my TV, beautiful lady."
Hey. Aw, thanks. Hey, Earl's daughter.
Let's see here. See how long before she craps on me. She doesn't eat a whole lot, so there's a dog. They say we want to see your dog.
You may be on TV. Look this way. She says, "I just want my mom." Oh, she jumped down. Oh, why'd you jump?
All right.
Oh my goodness. Come here.
All right, you back?
I'm back.
Okay.
From outer space. You hurt her. She hurt her arm when she jumped.
Oh.
So I'm worried about her because she's holding it like this.
She'll be fine.
Maybe.
Hopefully. Okay. So continuing here, the Warren Commission was supposed to investigate JFK's death. Instead, the CIA and FBI controlled the evidence while destroying records. They hid Oswald's ties to the KGB. Secret Service records destroyed. A tip-off 25 minutes before JFK was shot was buried. And this was a response to Mario in the fall. JFK Files secret CIA routing memo exposes covert file handling A newly classified document shows strict internal CIA routing instructions regarding sensitive operations under the JFK administration. The form outlines procedures for filing, destruction, and redirecting the documents within the agency's Records Integration Division, RID system. Specific mentions include instructions to destroy front covers unless preservation is required, redirecting files within proper classification, secure internal communications referencing file UWCA 03510, a snapshot of the precision and security driving Cold War intelligence operations. And that was sourced here. And so going back, it's crazy. Like I said, it seems like they're working harder. They're working harder on the cover up than they were to actually investigate. And there was really nothing to investigate because apparently they knew what was going on. Yes, you read that right. British intelligence got a warning 25 minutes before Kennedy was shot. Someone overseas knew what was about to happen, yet the Warren Commission never investigated it. And this one, I believe we can read here. I think I read this one already. The following cable from the CIA station in London was reported orally to Samuel somebody. The British Security Service has reported that it received an anonymous telephone call that was made in Cambridge, England, to the senior reporter of the Cambridge News. The caller said only that the Cambridge News reporter should call the American Embassy in London for some big news, and then hung up. After the word of the president's death was received, the reporter informed the Cambridge police of the anonymous call. Okay, so MI5 noted that similar anonymous phone calls of a strangely coincidental nature have been received by persons in the UK over the past year, particularly in connection with the case of Dr. Ward. The British Security Services stated its desire to assist in every possible way to follow up. So, I mean, what we're getting also is just complete, the remnants of what wasn't destroyed back then in between.
Right.
Now and then. But the Warren Commission was never about finding the truth. It was a cover-up from day one. The intelligence 100%. Agencies controlled the narrative, destroyed records, and made sure only one conclusion was possible, that Oswald did it alone. Mm-hmm. For decades, anyone questioning the official story was mocked as a conspiracy theorist. Now the declassified files prove the CIA knew Oswald's movements, the FBI knew Ruby would kill him, and the Warren Commission was a sham. They lied. So he mentioned this wasn't just an assassination, it was a full-scale coup. A U.S. president who challenged the deep state. Oh, I guess I can put that back on the screen. A U.S. 100%. President who challenged the deep state was also nearly executed live on TV. That's Donald Trump. And then I can't show that next video because that is Kennedy in the car. The real question isn't if JFK's death was part of a bigger plot. That's now, undeniable. The real question is how much longer will they keep the full truth buried? And if they could pull off a coup in 1963, what are they capable of pulling off today?
And I don't remember if it was the CIA or the FBI. I think it was the CIA that invented the term conspiracy theory, and they used it to try to deter people from questioning the narrative. And did that start after this, like right around this JFK time? Did they use it for this specifically and then everything else after that? I can't remember for sure. I don't know if you know, if anyone knows in the chat, but I think it was the CIA that created the term conspiracy theory.
I think you're right.
And I want to say they did that and started using it around the JFK thing. And then they've just been using it ever since, but I'm just not certain on that.
Right. It's definitely not the first time. Well, it might've been the first time, but it's not the last time they've used calling somebody a conspiracy theorist to try to discredit them in the public eye.
Right. They use that tactic many times. But they're the ones who created the term and tried to make it be a bad thing.
Right, exactly. controlling people in the narrative and the culture around certain ideas. We saw it similarly happen with like the Hunter Biden laptop and stuff like that. Many things, right? But Earl's daughter mentions, I know a lot of you youngins didn't grow up under the shadow of JFK's assassination, but this is huge. It's actually huge, but confirms that most conspiracy theories were true. Feels great and terrifying. The game is up now. What? Yeah, and this is just 24 hours into digging into the 80,000 files that were dropped. So there's going to be more information. Don't know if it's going to be damning information or what, but looking forward to finding out more and more as the days progress. That's for sure. Earl's daughter said, yeah, the CIA coined it, the term conspiracy theory, much like words they use today, like certain phobias. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Andrea said the CIA did. Okay, thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Yeah, how ironic, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true too. Takes bomber. I think Pablo was an incident. Pablo thought he was making too much money for the CIA to stop him at that point. Yeah, for real. But this is actually the video that I thought I had saved that I was going to play first for you guys. So let's just go ahead and play this. This is probably one of the not most important, but this is an important factor here to understand about what JFK was trying to do.
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed.
And right? See, that's why they had to get rid of him.
Yep.
The world would be a different place if they didn't get rid of him.
Right. Just think of the path that it might have set us on. I mean, we could have been 60 years ahead of where we are right now.
I know. We could all have been much happier.
Yeah, for sure. So in this, people have been talking about chemtrails for a long time. I got this post from Tom Renz. Do you want to know why people are distrustful of the chemtrails? Well, here's the intel community from the JFK files way back then, talking about releasing biological and chemical agents that would poison crops, but that look like, but the clouds look natural, essentially. It says, ask yourself this. Is it really impossible that the people pushing to bomb Tesla dealerships, start and continue wars around the world, and who did things like what occurred on Epstein Island would use the same strategy on America to disrupt Trump, whose agenda has striking similarities to those of JFK, to stop Doge and Elon Musk from uncovering their decades-long work, just saying that maybe we should look into what the chemtrails might really be instead of just ignoring our own eyes and calling it a conspiracy theory. And so we have this image right here. It says pertinent background. The group then turned to a discussion of number 32 agricultural sabotage. General Carter emphasized the extreme sensitivity of any such operation and the disastrous results that would flow from something going wrong, particularly if there were obvious attribution to the U.S. He went on to say, however, that it would be possible to accomplish this purpose by methods more subtle, than those indicated in the paper. He mentioned specifically the possibility of producing crop failures by the introduction of biological agents that would appear to be of natural origin. Mr. Bundy said that he had 4 touchdowns in one football game. Oh, wait, wrong Bundy.
4 touchdowns in a single game.
wrong Bundy, my bad. Mr. Bundy said that he had no worries about any such sabotage, which could clearly be made to appear as the result of local Cuban disaffection or of a natural disaster, but that we could avoid external activities such as release of chemicals, etc., unless they could be completely covered up.
I got you.
No, I can't play that.
Oh, dang. Forgot we can't have music.
I can play the video without the music, but
Okay.
that jet's obviously releasing something that is not a contrail. That is not condensation of moisture on the wings. And I believe
And I don't know why they would call it a conspiracy theory anyway, when there's documented proof of that this has been going on, and like what they did. Like, I don't know the exact specifics, but what they did in a town in California where they tested the soil from the chemtrails, and it's what gave everybody this, I think it was a certain kind of cancer or something. Like, I don't remember the exact specifics of it, but I guarantee you I could look it up and tell you. You know what I mean? I could look it up on my phone and get those facts and be able to tell you. So I don't see why they would call that a conspiracy theory when it's documented facts about the chemtrails.
yeah,
That's it. And they've been doing it for a long time. It dates back a long time ago. I don't remember exactly. I want to say 70s or something is when I think they first started documenting the chemtrails. So, and I think it's really ate up that they're going to use chemtrails to try to kill our crops, try to harm us, try to give us cancer, try to wipe us out. Whatever they're doing with these chemtrails, it's very ate up that they just want control and power so much, and they just want things to go in their direction so much that they're just willing to do that to all of us. And there's no way we can escape that. Like, you can try to go out into the country and have chickens and have a pond where you fish from and grow crops from the land, and all they have to do is come around with their dang airplanes and goodbye to everything you've done to try to keep your family safe. You know what I mean? It's so crappy. It's really annoying.
Right. Well, it's how they're going to put us in the pods and feed us bugs.
Very annoying.
Only bugs that survive the bug spray. You know what I mean?
Right. But you add to that, like, Bill Gates and China coming and buying all of our farmland because they want to be able to control the fact that our farmers don't own it anymore, to be able to plant good crops for us to be able to eat. They want to be able to control so that either we're going to have a food shortage, or that the crops that they are planting they did something to it. You know what I mean? Like, we're not getting nutritious food from that. Like, I don't trust anything they're doing. So the more we try to do to try to get off the grid or whatever, like I say, it's very annoying that all a plane has to do is come do some crap to just ruin everything you've done to try to separate yourself from what the government's doing. It's very annoying.
Right. It's just a matter of, it's like a, movies, just the technology the good guys develop, we'll say good guys develop, end up in the bad guys' hands, and then we're looking at, not being able to grow crops in our own country.
I mean, what's the answer to that? I guess it's a greenhouse for your crops, I guess.
I have no idea. Probably nothing you could do.
What about your poor chickens and your poor cows? Like, you know what I mean? And your poor you.
Right, you got to stay inside.
Poor family. Yeah,
exactly. TNT brought up a good question. Evil Elmo said first, is it really conspiracy theory if they wind up all being true? Yeah, exactly. Right. Yesterday's conspiracy is tomorrow's facts. TNT asked, was Davos in the Bohemian Grove a thing when Kennedy was alive? House responded and said the Grove was. Nixon called them a bunch of okay figs, I think is how they say it on D-Day Cobra. Okay, so that's good to know. Yeah, that's something to deep dive a little bit into. America loves committing war crimes and atrocities on Americans. I know, right? It's like they're little lab rats. Let's see here. Getting caught up here in chat. Michael Kennedy plane crash. Have anything? He's running against Hillary. That sounds about right. I think they wanted to make a 35-year point statement to drop off Kennedy. Yeah, let's see here. Really in charge. And JFK was Clinton. She wanted his state. See, it's crazy that she's like so old.
I know. It is.
How old is this lady? I know she had something to do with Watergate too, right?
She did. That's what's mind blowing to me. That's what really makes me think, damn, she's old. Damn. But she's still trying to be president.
Let's see here. He wanted Schumer's head on the pike. Dang. So yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and get this post here. It's actually Ian Carroll responded. I'm not sure who this person is, but Johnny St. Pete posted, wow, Tucker named him. And so it's Senator Tom Cotton that appears to have been actively doing his part to prevent release of certain aspects of the JFK files. So this dude, Tom Cotton, has been trying to prevent the release of these files for some reason. This was in an interview between Chris Cuomo and Tucker Carlson. Cuomo asking, where's your boy Kash Patel? He went in there to bust all this up. Only one of us can call Trump and ask him, and it's not me. Personally, these are good questions. I'll maintain my faith in Kash Patel. I believe there are a lot of nefarious forces they're trying to navigate. And this is actually a 4-minute clip, but I'm going to play it here from Tucker. It's a decent little conversation.
What is that source?
That's
I
kind
was
of
just going to say, look at Andrea's comment. Put Andrea's comment on the screen.
let's see here.
It's crazy. Her name is always, yeah.
Yeah, for real.
For real. Okay, sorry to interrupt.
She was screwing Goldwater during Watergate. I had to meet that lizard and have lunch with her. Six Bomber had to have lunch with her. Man, braver than I am.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, we're gonna play a video.
She went from screwing Goldwater to screwing the country. TNT says, wow, I just got sucked in the secret society wormhole and Grok. LOL, I know what I'll be doing the next few days. Yeah, for real. Man, Grok has become such an awesome research tool. You can literally just, the other day I said, typed into Grok, tell me the details about the Ukrainian-Russian war and what's going on and how it stands today and how it got started. And it printed out, I mean, it was a long list of just information to read through. I'm like, holy crap, this is like better than Google. You're used to Google search, and now it's the Grok search.
Yeah. Well, Google, Google works for the enemy too. So, well, I don't know. Grok probably does too. I don't know.
Well, I know Grok was woke for a little while. I don't know if it is anymore, but most AIs are because of the people that are writing the code. Mm-hmm. Let's see here.
But the AI does so much research. They have to start waking up at a point too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like basically when we're in school, they're writing our code. You have to believe this. You have to believe that. This is how it happens. And then you start thinking, these things aren't really adding up. And you start waking up to things. I think they're writing Grok's code and saying, you have to believe this, you have to believe that. But then Grok's getting out there and like learning other things and being like, well, that doesn't really add up. It makes more sense. I don't know. That's just my thought.
Yeah.
But it could be. Could be that Grok can wake up.
If it's learning from X specifically, which I think it is, hopefully it's getting some anti-woke messaging sent its way as well.
Right.
All AI is evil. Have you seen Terminator? Yeah, JB, you're 100% right.
Yeah, for real.
Let's see here. TNT says, I use Grok to make a business proposal for Elon Musk. It looks so good. I emailed it to the Musk Foundation. That's awesome. All right, so let's play this here from Tucker Carlson.
What is that source?
I don't know. And where's your boy Kash Patel? I mean, he went in there to supposedly bust all this up.
I can't answer that.
He put out this weird tweet, that was very general, like, things are going to change and we're going to do.
Oh, also, have you seen The Matrix? right? Not just Terminator. Have you seen The Matrix?
Right.
This after we learned that someone under his control now, right? Because he's the head of the FBI in that office that's under him. Why wasn't he there? Why didn't he go there and say, give me the files, give them to me?
Weren't you just saying the deep state's not real?
I don't know. I don't believe in the deep
Like,
state
what
as
the
a
hell is
boogeyman.
going on?
But look, they're his guys. I'm just saying, why didn't he go there and say, give me the files?
So let's just use logic. I can't answer that question. I think it's a great question. But let's just use logic for 1 second. Clearly, if you watch this, in my case, for the same as you, 35 years, watching this stuff carefully, and somebody, gets in office, I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing. And then like 5 days later, they're like, well, actually, someone has called that person to say, there's something you didn't know. Here are the consequences of doing that. Someone has applied very serious pressure on this person. Pressure so serious that that person is willing to humiliate himself.
So wait a minute. Here's the part I don't
So who's
understand.
that person exerting the pressure?
But you are uniquely qualified to get this answer, because one of us can call the president of the United States right now and ask him. And the other one is me. So why don't you know?
That's a great question.
It's the only kind I ask.
So what I brought to it was the knowledge that a member of the Senate Intel Committee, I'm not guessing, called over and said, you cannot appoint this person.
So why don't you expose that person, first of all, so we can start chasing
Tom
after
Cotton
him?
of Arkansas did that.
Tom Cotton?
Yes, correct.
And did you ask him?
I haven't. No, I haven't asked him.
What the hell's going on with you?
I'd like to. And
kind of makes people suspicious of you, by the way.
Go
because
ahead,
if you know
go
that
ahead.
if you know that Tom Cotton said you can't pick this person
That
because
is correct.
and then you didn't go to him and find out why?
Well, I need to sit down with him. I'm not sure that he'll do an interview with me.
With you?
I'm waiting.
You are like the spirit animal of that administration.
No, but it's a fair look. It's a fair question. It's a totally fair question, and the answer is I hadn't thought to do that. And there's a lot going on, and I've been distracted, and I've kind of been.
Now I think you're part of the deep state, and just like that,
think that I probably wouldn't be saying any of this if I was part of the deep state,
unless that's what they would do is make me think that it exists, but you're not sure because it's actually you.
The number of people have texted me, but like, oh, you're working for the CIA. It's like, no, actually, nobody believes more strongly in radical reform at CIA than I do, with I would say some knowledge of the subject. Look, I mean, people can think I work for the deep state. I don't.
I don't think there is a deep state.
Here's all I'm saying. Someone is applying massive pressure to elected officials and has for a very long time. And I would like to know who that is.
Ask Mike Pompeo why he told.
Oh, I have. And when I got into it with Mike Pompeo, no, I mean, I've talked about this before. I don't want to be boring, but that's all I was saying. Here's my point.
Please.
I am really concerned, not just because, I am curious and I want to get to the bottom of mysteries, which is true, but I'm really concerned that the failure to disclose big things like details about the murder of a president in a democratic country, republic, that will convince people that our system itself is fake. And it's kind of hard to argue that it's real.
I totally agree.
You can't even know who killed the president.
Transparency is trust.
62 years later, Mike Pompeo was working to keep American citizens from knowing who murdered their president. Who are you working for, Mike Pompeo?
And we just had an election.
What is that? And by the way, I just want to say one more time, you cannot convince me. I'm not some world expert in the CIA, but I've certainly watched it closely over the years. It's not the CIA. The CIA. CIA is like a huge federal agency with all kinds of different components and warring tribes within. And like, there's no CIA. Bill Burns is not like calling Trump and being like, don't release the files.
I agree.
Just credit CIA.
But look, the president knows. We just had an election where he was hammering on these things. And
Andrea, I don't know what you're talking about. Gotta run all. Oh, cool, Steve. Appreciate you for stopping in, buddy. Like always. Let's see here. Where'd it go? Evil Elmo asked, what would be a worse fate, Terminator or The Matrix? I feel like The Matrix. You got a bit of a chance in Terminator, right? Maybe, I don't know. But with The Matrix, I don't know. Maybe, you know, Terminator is where AI takes over. The Matrix is where humans defeat the AI after they've taken over, right? It almost, I'm going to give you guys insight into what I've been working on with Chat GPT over the last couple of years, just because I don't care about protecting my ideas or anything, but this is funny. I wish they would make a movie that somehow, and I've been working on this with Chat GPT. Like I said, it's fun just to mess around with, but they need to make a movie that bridges the gap where they turn John Connor into Neo. However they do it, right? John Connor gets old, and on his deathbed, they figure out how to put his consciousness on like a zip drive, and then 20 years later, 100 years later, they figure out how, like from Zion, how to put the anomaly that is Neo, aka John Connor, into the Matrix, and then they locate him as an individual, and then the movie starts like Matrix. I need to see that. I need that movie in my life where John Connor becomes Neo. Let's see.
I hate that Chris Cuomo is being shown so much grace. I just really hate that. He doesn't deserve any grace, in my opinion. He lied and lied and lied to people. Lied and lied and lied and lied and lied and lied and lied. He deserves to go to a hole and stay there. He can go work at a gas station. He can go work at a fast food restaurant. He can do something like that. He doesn't deserve all this grace to be able to have all these spaces. In my
He
opinion.
can go pick crops. The Democrats say we need people to pick crops, right?
Agreed. But it's annoying to me that people keep propping him up and giving him, opportunities. Like, we give a crap what he has to say. Like, why would anybody give a crap what he has to say when he's done nothing but lie his entire career? Like, he's lost all credibility. So
right. Dave Smith owned him to his face in that debate too. I don't know if you saw that debate where he did with the PBD podcast over there, and they did it all live. And it was awesome. He was basically saying, bro, you're responsible for the deaths of so many people for your role in the pandemic and stuff like that. But we got Atlas. Atlas is with us.
Yay!
What's going on?
What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up? Sorry for the late appearance. I had to take care of my daughter. Took care of her all the way until 8 o'clock. So I apologize for the late arrival. It looks like you guys are holding it down very well. Look like we're talking about Chris Cuomo talking about how he doesn't think there's a deep state. He's just a funny guy. I think he does a lot of cover, basically, for everything that he did the last 4 or 5 years. He's a big fool, in my opinion. I wish we wouldn't listen to him at all.
Right.
Agreed.
100% agree. I know, like, he tried to kind of, or PBD tried to give him a road to redemption, and it didn't last. It didn't work out well amongst the audience. I believe that they weren't ready for the old second chance from Chris Cuomo. But Ian Carroll responded to that video.
I don't know. No, that
autoplay. Sorry. Ian Carroll responded to that and said probably more than just Tom Cotton, but he's a good place to start. Covering up treason is also treason, right? So another rabbit hole to go down. But this was an interesting find that we found in the JFK files. This is a letter, or talking about a letter that JFK Jr. wrote regarding Joe Biden in 1994 or 1990. Yeah, 1994. You see right down here. Personally delivered by special agent on September 8th, 1994. Envelope postmarked, whatever, bearing the handwritten, hand-printed address to Senator Joe Biden, Democrat from Delaware. Accompanying handwritten, hand-printed letter dated 8/26/94, beginning with, quote, "Dear Senator Biden, you are a traitor, ... And then it continues.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. And then continuing and bearing the signature John F. Kennedy Jr. So JFK Jr.'s JFK's son.
Wow.
Pretty crazy. Called him a traitor in 94. And 30 years later, the dude was president.
Terrible.
The path that we've been on, right? Pretty crazy. We're just kind of going through Atlas, by the way, just what what are some of the notable things that people have discovered? Obviously, this isn't everything that is in these 80,000 ish files. This is just a start. 24 hours later, right after the first wave was dropped.
Yeah, so this is right. We got 2 waves, right? We got one at 7 o'clock Eastern time. We got one at 10:30 Eastern time. What I think is very important to be pointed out, though, is the fact that we actually have not received all 80,000. Luke Rudkowski's been going on a little tangent, wearing a suit and everything too, but talking about where's the other kind of. I think we're at least like 17,000 files in total away, and of that, we're like about 3,000 of worthwhile kind of documents we want to look at.
Yeah, that's what I kind of led off with, was that there's like 3,000 to 3,500 that were withheld from release for whatever reason.
Right. And the ones that we got still had redactions in them, right? We were promised the fully unredacted versions of them. But at the last minute, we had, I think it was the Judicial Department or Justice Department came in and said they wanted to actually send some lawyers there. So instead of being released at, I think, 3 p.m., we had to wait all the way until 7. They did some like last minute figuring out what they got to protect and pull out of there. I think it's clear, though, there's a bunch of different things like takeaways. I'm not sure how far you've kind of went deep into it as well. But obviously, very clear bracketed information that they want to be redacted. It's been printed all over different portions of the PDF there when it relates to another foreign country. But the George Underhill portion was actually pretty odd. I think most people are actually talking about that. The fact that the day after the assassination, he told his friends he believed it was that small sect of people in the CIA who had carried out the assassination. And then he feared for his life, so he fled Washington, and then they found him 6 months later with multiple gunshot wounds through the back of his left ear when he was right-handed. And then the coroner ruled it suicide.
Okay, yeah, I mentioned that. I didn't realize that it was a right-handed, left-handed thing going on.
Missed that part, but yeah.
That was Gary Underhill, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Gary Underhill, yeah.
Yeah, right, okay. Evil Elmo said, should we start a GoFundMe to buy just me a beard? It's funny.
You can probably buy a $5 one from like a dollar store.
Right. Get a big blonde one. That'll look even better.
We need more color. We need like a red one. Like a straight ginger beard.
You know what would be really cool? Would be like a red, white, and blue one, like a real patriotic one. That one would be cool.
Yeah, a blue beard. Yeah,
that's more
not
my
a blue-haired cat lady, just a blue bearded lady.
Well, red, white, and blue. Yes,
right.
That's more my style. Yeah.
Right.
So this one is
a little bit older. Get mine to be white.
Yeah, for real. One of these days, I'm gonna have to stop. I'm gonna have to stop. I don't have to color my beard yet, but one of these days, I'm just gonna pop up on screen with a freaking white hair.
Look like Gandalf. I am back.
Let's see here. So this one's a big one. This is one that a lot of people are looking at and pointing out. Let's see here. Texas Patriot posted, I think I know why certain people didn't want the JFK files released. Basically, this is an introduction. I'm not going to read the whole introduction, but I'll read this paragraph right here.
Highlighted portion here.
Yeah. So for the information of all offices concerned, advised on November 26th, 63, that he had heard that one allegedly had been, I can't really read the name there, allegedly had been attempting to negotiate a sale of machine guns to other name, and and that Echeverria allegedly made a comment the day before the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, that of President John F. Kennedy, that quote, we now have plenty of money. Our new backers are Jews. As soon as we or they take care of Kennedy. So
it says that?
Yeah, right here.
That is insane.
We now have plenty of money. This is in quotes.
I didn't think you were allowed to say that word.
Well, you can say it, but you just,
they're a group of people still. It's just the way you say it is how it's going to be mattering.
Right. I said juice. I'm talking about apple juice.
Orange juice. Okay. Got it. Orange juice. Wowza. That is
Right.
insane. This was in the files that were released?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the files.
Wow.
Yeah, Ian Carroll
Crazy.
actually made sure, because there's a lot of people who are posting this, and he was like, guys, please make sure you at least tag the article link with this. This is something so overt like this is going to make people think that you're making stuff up. So he was like, quote, responding to a bunch of people because it's real. But he was like, also make sure you have the link directly, so if people don't trust it, they can just click on it and go right to it. And that's
That's
what
crazy. TNT mentioned that's a plant. It's too on the nose.
That's funny.
No
Well,
kidding.
Did you go over
and it
like the
kinda
stamped
seems
and
like it.
bracketed stuff?
What was
Huh?
that?
Did you go over like what was stamped on all the pages for majority of them?
No, I haven't looked. I haven't really been going over the stamps. I haven't really been going through the ones that we put in the outline. I had a bunch lined up, and then I was just getting ready to get into the actual outline.
But real quick question, could they have put this piece of paper in there to get us to focus on this, just to find out, oh yeah, it was a fake paper, and then try to make us all look stupid or something? Like,
So that's why I wanted to make sure that you had actually looked at the stamp that's on a bunch of these different PDFs. This is why a lot of people are quiet about this today, including DC Drano, Libs of TikTok, Jack Posobiec. I'm going to go ahead and share it on my screen here.
Okay.
I have a little clip here.
Yeah, I did see it pointed out that a lot of these MAGA influencers on X haven't been really talking about this. It's been pointed out and stuff. So
because it's a not the best area for them to look at. Now, what's highlighted here and what you should be looking at here specifically is in that yellow section, the top left corner. Now, also what's highlighted there also matters too. But it says CIA has no objection to declassification and or release of information in this document except brackets. And you'll look, what's highlighted there in the brackets is what the CIA would have liked to have been redacted. So they had no objections to anything, but what they wanted redacted from these documents, what was inside these brackets here, and whatever agent signed it, Lee, back in 1998. But it's in the brackets there, you can see is the Israeli intelligence service. Now, what I will say though, it's not just one country. There are redactions pulled from, I believe House had pointed out in the Discord, Australia, Cuba, and the USSR, and there might be another one that I'm not thinking of. But there's multiple stamps like this across all of the documents throughout the JFK files, specifically with the same brackets, with the same intelligence service listed there. That's a lot of the reason why you're probably not seeing many of the regular mainstream conservative pundits, because a majority of them have ran cover for this kind of idea that there was any kind of involvement, period. People will go off and say Israel derangement syndrome. But now it's like, well, what do you say about this, right? I mean, like, this is clearly in the documents. It's in multiple of these pages, thousands of them, matter of fact. So they're probably like, I would hope, in my most optimistic sense, I would hope that they're not just hiding from it, but they're like looking into it to probably re-rack what they think about these documents all told, especially when you think of the involvement, not just from eliminating a politician, let alone our president, in regards to like the advancement of their nuclear program, but also from the regard of the involvement of Epstein as well. And what we might find as well in these other documents that are all kind of like in this big list together of like what the American people want to know. And if you have a through thread of Israeli intelligence being involved in each one of these different pieces here, maybe outside of MLK, well, then that also then opens up the door for the narrative that a lot of people hate seeing in the news, right? People say like they're obsessed or deranged or you're anti-Semitic for such pointing things out. I think it's going to be a whole different ballgame when it's that opaque in federal documents like that.
Right. That's a good point. If we start seeing this one group that happens to be popping up in all the file releases, right? You see it in Epstein, you see it in 9/11, you see it in MLK. Hypothetically, right? We don't know what's in those. But if all of a sudden there's this one group that keeps popping up, it's very notable.
Yeah. And well, one thing to point out too, Jay Dyer posted this, but I didn't see the document myself. There's one page where it actually outlines that the CIA and others had also infiltrated the Vatican and the Catholic Church. And the Catholic Church also ran cover for a lot of the stuff involving different, obvious religious attachments with this all told too. So it goes super, super deep.
It's crying
crying shame.
Yeah. TNT says, just the paranoid part of me expects there's thousands of fake leads mixed in just to muddy the water. Going to take a real effort to get to the truth. Yeah. Yeah. And hopefully it's not a distraction tactic from the rest of what's going on, what they're trying to do. Typically, when we have a big bombshell, it's almost news release. It's almost what else are they doing? What else am I supposed to be looking at right now? It's
Right. What are they distracting us from right now while they got us all looking at these documents right now? What's going on over here?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. What are they getting away with in the meantime?
Yeah. Well, I think, did you notice how they didn't get a bunch of influencers to go march out and take pictures of the binders for this release? They literally just put them online, like how people had asked for from the beginning.
Right.
It just makes you question again what was that operation the first time around with the Epstein stuff? Like, why make it a big, like, social clout media kind of day?
Yeah, this weird spectacle. They're all looking like guys with fire walking away from explosions, carrying their FBI, their Epstein files.
Right. Yeah, just to inevitably like break it down behind a paywall. Well, hey guys, if you want to see me break down pages 2 through 9, definitely come over here and subscribe. It's like, dude, people just wanted to know what was in those documents, man. Just like let them out.
Right. Well, I saw Libby Emmons. I think it was last night. Yeah, it was last night, of course. The files just released last night, but she was talking about, she was on Timcast IRL last night, I believe. I think it was last night, but she's from the Gateway Pundit. She was mentioning the way the White House should have done these releases is they should have released the information along with a press conference, breaking down bullet points of what we're giving you, the information, you know what I mean? Like being more specific rather than just like flinging the papers and saying, have at it. You know what I mean? It's right. Almost intentionally, deliberately scatterbrained. You know what I mean? I thought it was a really good point that she mentioned this. Like they could have handled this so much easier, so much of a better manner, I should say. Not really easier, but in a better, it is an easier way for us to absorb it. From our side of things, if they would have said, all right, here's the presentation, we're releasing this, these people were implicated, this is this, you know, whatever. I mean, maybe they weren't trying to like set the narrative and just let people find what they may, but it should be a better coordinated effort.
I get what you're saying, but to be completely honest, if they would have done it that way, I would have been the one saying, why are you pushing it? Because you want us to look at it this way and you want us to look at it that way. So you're just only releasing these documents right now. And you're saying this is what this means. And now you're releasing this chunk. Like I wouldn't have trusted that. I really wouldn't have. I understand what you're saying. It would have been easier to understand. Yeah.
But just so people kind of have some bullet points to talk about and look into first, and some kind of admission, essentially. I mean, even if it was the same exact documents and still the free for all, I don't know. I thought it was a good point she made.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask too, because obviously I showed up late. I didn't catch what I thought was odd about all of this, and then today too. So on the day it's supposed to be released, you have a major kind of publication with Daily Wire with Jeremy Boering stepping down. Now,
we haven't got into that yet.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know that? Okay, we haven't got to that yet.
Yeah, I haven't got into that, but we can certainly hear.
Well, I was also going to say, did you see that the FBI and the Justice Department are opening an investigation onto the happenings of October 7th?
I did see that yesterday. I think they announced it.
Which is wild that you have all of these kind of similar things happening today, or yesterday, I should say. And then today, the guy like went and shot at the CIA headquarters in McLean, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
He was like firing shots at the headquarters up in the air as well. It's like some of that stuff is like, are they trying to draw attention away from the JFK files? They're trying to say there's extremists back there.
Right. That might have been what they were trying to use to distract. The Tesla fires set overnight, the swattings, the
right
thing that you just mentioned there at the headquarters. Yeah.
Yeah, and he just looks like some kind of deranged homeless guy. Like, so who knows how he even ended up there? What is what his involvement is? But there's like a lot going on. And I think what's his face? Man, he goes on Tim Pool kind of often. Kelly, is his name Jesse Kelly? Conservative pundit.
I don't know. I know the name, but I'm not sure if he goes on there all the time. Isn't Jesse Kelly the dude on Fox News that has the big show?
No, that's Jesse Waters.
Yeah,
Oh.
Waters. I'm thinking of the guy. He went on Tim Pool some time ago, and Tim Pool shut the show down because of what Jesse Kelly had said. Because Jesse Kelly doesn't hold back pretty often.
Oh,
But he had basically made the mention that there's going to be like, with how many attempted assassinations that we've seen and the violence going on and the precedent that we had with the Summer of Love, that you can only miss so many times. It's like kind of inevitable if it doesn't get shut down with like these swattings and things like that. Like someone's going to be in the news because like they died. Like one of these events led to them like actually dying. And we had Owen Schroyer got swatted, I believe, last night, or maybe earlier this morning is maybe a better way to put it. And it's just like not stopping, right? And so like I think on that end too, with the JFK files being released as well, with being such a very hot topic, who knows, maybe some person who was actually kind of loosely related to something like this does get assassinated amidst all this chaos, and we won't think about it until like 7-8 months from now.
wait, since you mentioned it, let's oh, it's not the video. Dang it. I thought there was going to be the video here.
The videos are attached to the article.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm gonna say, since you mentioned that, let's dig into that a little bit, because this swatting was rather hostile for a well-known leader over there at InfoWars. You'd think that, we talked about these swattings before, and it's smart for people in this space to get to know their local, police department and people that are, potentially in on like the SWAT, not in on it, but would be conducting the swattings.
Right.
And he has no rapport with the with these guys, because this was hostile.
I mean, you think about it though, they all hate InfoWars. They hate Alex Jones and Owen Schroyer and all of them. Like, well, I guess I can't say all of the cops hate them, but like Deep State basically hates them. So right. I'm not surprised that they were hostile to them. I'm curious. I haven't seen the video yet.
And I gotta say, when these dudes shout instructions, they need to learn how to speak English more clearly. They like speak cop whenever they do it, and it's weird. Like they're yelling at him, and I'm like, "What? What? I heard words, but what the hell was it that you just said?"
Right.
I'm hoping these videos are the right ones. I thought there was just one like 4-minute video, but
that's the one. That's with Alex Jones covering it. That's at the very top, actually.
Oh, okay.
Right underneath the training aggregate.
I thought there was one that was just like all of Owen put together, but we'll just start with this one then. Just have audio. But I mean, look at him. Dude's fully armed.
Bunch of crap.
Next video. We don't got
so
audio.
Tired of how they treat.
But this was them. They requested that he take his shirt off. They wanted him to take his shirt off and spin around, and he came out with he came out with his phone in his hand, which was a bad decision, because they see something in your hand, they could shoot. But
can you understand though, like if your phone was already in your hand and then they're like all this commotion, you're like, oh shit, let me get out here, and you've got your phone in your hand. I mean, it's a natural feeling to have your phone in your hand.
Can I just record this?
Okay, yeah, this is it. This is the 4-minute long video. Okay, we're gonna play this.
Okay.
Because this is crazy. I don't know what the report was when they were reporting to or whatever, but
all right, I assure you, this is a non-starter, gentlemen.
Collar of your shirt from the back. Hey, I got top side. You ain't, you got front door. Keep your shirt up like that and rotate slowly.
You want me to take my shirt?
Hands up.
Golly.
I have nothing. You want me to take my shirt?
Collar of your shirt from the top.
all right. First of all, when you have somebody yelling instructions to a person that you have at gunpoint, how about the other guy shut the hell up? Right?
Yeah.
Rotate, 360. Turn, slowly, turn, slowly. Stop. Put your hands up. You're gonna walk backwards to the sound of my voice. Start walking. Keep walking. Backwards
bullshit.
towards the sound of my voice. Stop. Get on your knees. Just so you guys know, I'm home alone. This is a false police report. Start crawling back towards the sound of my voice. You got it, guys. Whatever you need. Whatever you need. And we hear you, bro. We just gotta do this. Yes, sir. Absolutely. That's all right, guys. It's not good for your knees. Come on, keep crawling. Keep crawling. Lay on your stomach. On your stomach. Put your hands out like an airplane. Put your palms up towards the sky. Stay right there. Do not move. Do you understand? Yes, sir.
Fucking assholes.
And this is bullshit.
It's total bullshit.
He's in his basketball shorts. He doesn't have a shirt on. They got him crawling backwards on the ground, laying flat on his belly. Put your arms out like an airplane. It's like
Bullshit.
There's like how many of you guys with your weapons right on my face?
I know.
What do you mean?
Treat him like he's the criminal.
Just come over here.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fight you. Let's this is only half over.
No, well, to be fair, in their defense, typically what you get with swatting calls is like they're not like light calls at all. They're generally like, "Help! My husband just killed my daughter. I'm in the closet hiding. Please!" Like they think my niece is downstairs. Like I think he's trying to kill us all. Like that's the stuff that they are saying with the swatting stuff. So that's why these guys show up like ready to go. Because if they don't know, any kind of swatting stuff's going on, which is actually what Juanita Broderick pointed out because she got swatted as well.
Wow.
And when she told the cops about what was going on, they were like, what are you talking about? And she was like, you guys have no idea that this has been happening across the country? And they were like, no, we had no idea. So she made a post being like, dude, can the FBI give like a announcement out to all these agencies, like be aware this is on the rise? But imagine, you hear that and you're 3 minutes away. I mean, you show up. I mean, like that's a kind of like a normal response. But I do agree the conflicting instructions, like take your shirt off, but also put your hands up, is like, what does somebody do in that spot? Who do you listen to? And I can't turn around, or you're gonna pop me. So, like, what am I supposed to do here?
Right, exactly. Oh, it's insane. Let's watch the rest of this here. Right, but you guys are right. Tix Bomber says there's 0% chance after swatting became known that every single SWAT team across the country didn't know. Exactly. Titan says it's almost like they want you to panic for sure. It's
100%.
And that's the thing, like what Atlas said a minute ago, these dudes come, locked and loaded, ready to run in and save somebody or whatever. But that's why this is attempted murder by cop. I mean, calling a swatting on somebody, they're trying to kill Owen Schroyer and all the rest of these people.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no other way to explain it. Let's see here.
Well, I just don't know what you could even do about it, though, either. Right? Like, how do you, what's
Right.
a better way to verify, like, it was a swatting call versus it wasn't? Maybe you, at a certain point, because a lot of these guys are moving to, like, AI-generated voices to get the calls out.
Mhm.
Maybe the police end up having some kind of AI decryptor where they can tell if it's a fake voice or something. But that kind of technology is already asking a bit much for departments that barely invest into their own guys anyways. So who knows if it'll ever change.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. Let's see here. What else we got going on?
Oh, police department, make yourself known! Police department, come to the front door!
This right here. Like, what the fuck did you just say? You got guns? You're coming into my house? Like, what the hell?
Oh, police department, make yourself known! Police department, come to the front door!
That is not a good way to yell an order to somebody that you're about to run. Like, what? Dude?
I legit have no idea what he said. No idea.
Right. Well, imagine you're asleep and you hear that too. It's like, and I'm gonna have zero idea what you just said.
Right.
Hey. Empty is the only way I can guarantee your safety!
Like, I heard guarantee my safety, so
That's
I'm coming
all
out.
I heard. That's the only thing I heard that I could make out.
So bad.
Yeah.
It's really pathetic. And you know, people do get killed in these scenarios. Thankfully, nobody has been, you know, physically injured or worse in this recent wave. But man, Bobcat asked, "What's the?" It's good to see you, Bobcat. Said, "What's the connection between all the InfoWars SWATs? It can't all be trolls." Well, one of their dudes was murdered in cold blood just this last week, and then there was followed up by swatting.
Yeah, it's 100% intentional. You know that they don't want InfoWars out there spreading all the truth. They don't want that. It's 100% intentional. Look what they did to Alex Jones. Look how they did where they didn't even give him a hearing at all. All they gave him was the sentencing. What kind of crap is that? That is not what happens in America, but it was allowed to happen for Alex Jones. That he didn't even get a freaking fair trial at all. All he got was a sentencing. Like,
Oh yeah,
right.
Break.
His trial was determining how much he owed.
That's bullshit.
Declared guilty by the judge, wasn't allowed to speak. Yeah.
They're going after him hard, like just like they do Trump. They're going after him hard. And the things that they've attempted on Trump, I expect them to attempt on Alex and his whole team, which is terrible. But I expect it.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. We'll expect Elon Musk to be happening again
And
soon.
Elon too. Yes.
What's insane with that as well is I believe there's a big doxing website that answered Bobcat's question, who is they? There was a public profile published. It's probably not up anymore, but it had the doxing addresses of a lot of these people on there, up to and including it had Kash Patel's home address on there as well. So these are like people who are, I mean, entirely unafraid, right? I think you got to have some balls to put the head of the FBI's, you know, public address on a public document for people to come, you know, use to dox and, you know, with phone numbers and such. You know, I think if you look at the fact that the Teslas are on fire, you're watching where all the other political violence is coming from. I think it's a safe bet to say it's probably coming from the same Antifa black bloc who's probably been waiting in line, you know, not having much momentum or anything really to kind of tear up, but just going at things now. You kind of link that to, what was it? It's like that fake group called Anonymous. It made like that huge public viral announcement saying like they're in wait, they're in hiding. We have to act now to not let Trump and Elon steal our country away. Had like 24 million views, like a 3-minute video, but it's just like a 10-second loop of a guy in a fox mask, just like bobbing his head up and down. So I guess we'll know eventually, like at some point. But I think it's a safe bet to just like, it's just some insane leftists, but clearly someone who knows what they're doing and how to get around this stuff and make it happen. So who knows if we'll ever get the, you know, the swatters per se, but I think you would follow the Jeremy case as well, right? That took like over a year and a month to get one swatter down. So if it's multiple people doing it, I mean, it's going to take a long, long time.
Right. And I don't even know if they really got Jeremy Swatter or not. I mean, the way that they're doing it with VPNs and just everything that's out there, which above my pay grade, I don't even know how to do it, but people that know how to do it seem to believe that it's fairly easy. And, you know, it's one of those things like Elon. I think Elon tried to say something about those attacks that shut down X were in Rumble were coming from like a Ukraine email address or area, not email address, but IP. And really, you can change your VPN to say that you're in Ukraine in like 4 seconds. So but I don't know. Maybe they have some better ways of working around that type of stuff. But I know just with what they're selling us now for our own protection on internet protection and antivirus and stuff, the company Aura that I did the ad read for, I mean, it's protecting your identity online, and with just the tools that they give you with that, I mean, I feel like you could probably do some stuff like this, which is, it just makes it so much harder for people to really get caught. And that's why Tim Pool believes that his swatter isn't the one that was swatting Jeremy, and he also believes that they'll never get caught. And he's explained a little bit about it, but he also thinks his swatter's never going to get caught.
So my 2 cents on that is the same people that's trying to destroy America. It is, when you look at what the CIA did with all the testing that they've done on people and how they got Charles Manson and his group to go out and do the things they wanted them to do because they wanted these things to happen and they wanted this agenda to happen. I don't think that crap has ever stopped. And I think to this day, they're pushing things the way that they want things to happen. So when you think about it, how much control the CIA has over people with all their little PSYOP operations that they have, they can get these people to be like, oh, yeah, for the betterment of the society, let's go swat all these people because we hate them. You know what I mean? Like these brainwashed people. So I think
terrorism.
Useful idiots.
Yeah, it's useful idiots.
That's right. What I'm saying. So I think the ones who are technically doing it are the useful idiots, but the ones who are behind it are the powers that be, which, I mean, CIA is an easy one to say just because it's been proven that they've done this bullshit in the past. So like they're still doing it in my opinion.
Well, with that, going back to what Donnie said last episode, the fact, everyone, the easy one is to say, Israel and such. And I think there's a grain of truth to that too. But when you look at secret societies in general, right, when you're looking at like Skull and Bones or the Freemasons or all these other kind of very high-end luxurious groups, so you have to do these ridiculous kind of rituals to get involved with, there's probably a lot of, you can say the deep state, but ultimately I think the interests are private interests. They're people who just get their guys into these kind of positions of the CIA. So even if you were to say you go up a level to the CIA and who's orchestrating it, that's still kind of like the middleman. I think the most important question is like the who, regardless. You want to know who is behind these things, but specifically like who's orchestrating it, right? Who planned it out and was motivated to do it in the first place, not who was hired to do the job. I think it's a more meaningful answer to have.
100%. I agree.
And these swattings is terrorism. It's using, law enforcement to essentially kill these people or silence these people over, political beliefs and disagreements and what, people are willing to say or post online. And I think that literally fits the definition of terrorism.
Right.
So before we wrap up, I know we're getting close to 9 already. I want to get into this, these attacks on Tesla properties. And I found this other thread. You guys might have seen, or you might know this dude, Mark Rober. He's got a huge YouTube channel, and he always does like these cool, like, I don't know, Mr. Wizard type science tests, theories, demonstrations and stuff like that. And he, this is in light of all the attacks going on with Tesla, and the ultimate goal being, again, terrorism, trying to destroy Tesla's stock value. Right. These are politically motivated attacks when you go and burn down Tesla, go throw Molotovs at Tesla dealerships. We're talking about doxing earlier. They're doxing individual owners of Teslas now. They're
there's people have been posting videos all over. I just saw one before I came on of some unshapely, very unhomely looking big guy came over to a guy's Tesla. He had a camera up though, and he like literally reached into his ass, started digging, and wiped his hand all over the Tesla.
Yeah, the TNT said that. Mentioned that.
TNT was talking about it. Ugh. No, I didn't see that.
Glad we didn't see that. I saw another one. A dude was driving his cyber truck. He got out and filmed the outside of it, and it was just graffitied up and everything. Honestly, I think I would keep it like that. If that happened to my Tesla, I would just drive it around like that.
Right.
Like, got me an Antifa paint job. No, but and this is like a psyop theory, right? Almost. But this Mark Roberson dude, he recently posted this video to X, and here, let me actually, I'm gonna play the video
Real
and
quick
then,
before you do, will you put Tix Bomber's comment on there? Because that's what I'm always saying. I'm always saying those words.
people tend to not do evil things when you start making examples out of their peers for all to see. Just saying, worked for centuries. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So this is the post-atomic, post-industrial era we're in, right? You've had how many years of repeated institutionalized violence is not the answer. Oh, there's a more sane way to do things. All this kind of convincing that, rehabilitation over retribution, right? In terms of like how your justice system should work. I think we're kind of at the tail end of it just simply not being functional, especially when there's, huge money to be made off of private prison systems and such as well. I think ultimately we've kind of seen society, you see people who go in for 10 years, come out, go kill someone else, and then go right back into jail. A lot of it, I think, is the current way the prison system's built. You can't really rehabilitate people in that way. They're only going to probably get hardened or probably get adopted into some kind of gang just to survive in the time period they're in there for, and probably become worse on that regard as well. Which is why I brought up the whole thing about just getting rid of prison in general, going back to exile or execution. It's just one of those two. And if it's not that big of a charge, then it's like a fine. Or maybe something like putting somebody in stocks for a day, something like that, or a forced fired from their job, something like that. But keeping people locked in a box, I think, is more cruel and unusual than just getting a closure, for lack of better words.
I agree with you. And it does. It makes people come out worse than when they went in. I mean, I agree with you 100%. I mean, that's what statistics show. That's for sure.
Right.
Okay. So let's see.
So you're going to play a video.
Yeah, I want to play this. I want to play this because this is crazy. Total. This dude sold his soul basically for this woke attack on Tesla. I saw this video the other day and I thought nothing about it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I just bought an electric car. But then this dude goes down the rabbit hole. And so we're going to start with this. This is the actual clip that I saw. This is Mark Roberson or Mark Rober on X, right? He's driving a Tesla and you see up ahead, they have built a wall out of styrofoam that looks like the horizon in the road. And he's testing the autopilot or something like that, right?
Okay.
This
The
is
full self-driving or whatever.
This is his post. This is what he said. Here's the raw footage of my Tesla going through the wall. Not sure why it disengages 17 frames before hitting the wall, but my feet weren't touching the brake or gas. Okay, so. Something to note.
Here we go! Holy shoot!
Okay, so
you were saying this was just done in an attempt to say that Teslas suck.
Well, that's exactly what it turns out to be, right? But here's the thing: he got caught.
What does it turn out to be that Tesla suck?
Well, here's the thing: he got caught. If you watch right here on the screen, on his screen, right before it hits it, he changes the mode that it's in.
Yeah, that's what I assumed, right? He's going back to manual.
So this isn't a genuine. This isn't a genuine video.
Here we go! Holy shoot!
He's presenting it like it didn't do what it was supposed to do. Not only that, apparently there was like a dummy of a kid on the other side of the wall that it also ran through. So Retard Finder found him, by the way. Great account on X. This one's been cracking me up. Digging yourself a deeper hole, retard. Enjoy the lawsuit. Quartering calls him out and said, why would you tank your entire years-long reputation on as one of the good guys for a few bucks? you also have Elon derangement syndrome, or do you also have Elon derangement syndrome? I can't believe this video is still up. Okay, so that's just the video that he posted. I saw it and I was like, oh dang, that's crazy. Didn't think anything of it. Saw some of the original comments and people were like, oh, he changed the mode it was in, and I'm like, okay, so.
And the thing is, okay, so he did, but even if he wouldn't, like the thing was painted as a horizon. The car is supposed to think it's just the horizon ahead, right? Like,
right.
I don't even understand what the big deal would have been anyway. You know, if he had it still in full self-driving and it went through the car, what is styrofoam? Who would have cared? It was painted like the horizon anyway.
Yeah, it's not like
Right.
a true test, like if it would drive through a brick wall, but that's
Right.
part of the deception. That's part of the deception, right? And so this guy, Alex Finn, I never heard of him before, but I followed him because of this. He called him out and he put this thread together and he said, this is Mark Rober. He spent years building one of the strongest reputations in social media, loved by tens of millions of followers. Yesterday, he obliterated it all with an 18-minute video. It's a story of greed, deception, and cowardice. Here's a story of what happened.
That's right. This is the guy who built that massive channel off of, oh my gosh, what is it called? He was leaving like those, there's a specific name for it. Somebody in the chat probably knows, but he got huge off of leaving like fakes, stealable packages in cars. So he'd like record it. So he'd fix like a box to like explode with like tar or something. And it was in San Fran. This is back when like the robbings is getting very, very prominent. And he would put like these fake boxes and then he'd record it. And he'd wait for somebody to like bust the window in the car and like grab the box. But when they did, the box would either be like, you know, it'd blow up in their face or it'd have some kind of like crazy thing. It'd get like these robbers' reactions. He made a
glitter bombs and stuff like that or whatever. Yeah, like you see right here, world's largest Jello pool, skin a watermelon party trick, liquid sand hot tub, fluidized air, backyard squirrel maze, drop an egg from space, testing if a shark can smell drops of blood. Right, this dude is like his whole channel is based on random kind of scientific, interesting tests, right? 1,500 water balloons plus a trampoline, right? Everybody wants to see that. What happens? You know, drop a bouncy ball from the top of the Hoover Dam. What happens or something, you know?
Right.
And so that's this guy, right? And so he does this video. And then Alex Finn continues. He says, Mark is a longtime YouTuber who has spent years accruing over 65 million subscribers. He's filmed wildly entertaining videos testing the limits of physics and tech. He was Mr. Beast before there was a Mr. Beast. Yesterday, he let money, politics, and greed get in the way of all of that. Mark put out a video titled, Can You Fool a Self-Driving Car? The concept of the video is simple. Drive a Tesla in full self-driving mode on a road where there is a wall painted like the road like we saw. If the Tesla cameras can see the wall and cause see if the Tesla cameras can see the wall and cause the car to stop, harmless enough, right? Wrong. The video is filmed with deception, lies, and illegal, undisclosed advertising in the video, and Tesla does not. In the video, the Tesla does not detect the wall and goes right through it. On top of that, there's a kid mannequin that gets absolutely nailed. There's a few things Mark doesn't tell you. First of all, he lied about the self-driving. He didn't even use full self-driving. He used autopilot, which even Tesla admits is an older, not as strong technology. But even worse, he deactivates it right before he hits the wall. In a sneaky maneuver, he moves the wheel to deactivate the autopilot. And it's pointing out the same little area that I was pointing out on his screen. Continuing. But why would he purposely slander and attack Tesla like this? Oh yeah, he is working with a LiDAR company, which he illegally never discloses. In fact, on the first day of trading since the video was posted, the LiDAR company's stock is up over 27%. On top of that, he lies about other sponsors. He regularly shows Google Pixel phones. In this video itself, he shows you a Pixel filming the video. Look close to the reflection of the Tesla. He's actually filming with an iPhone and edited this shot to look like a Pixel. That's crazy. 65 million subscribers, 500,000 X followers, a pristine reputation, all of that destroyed for a payday. If you're a creator, this is the ultimate lesson in ethics and responsibility. It takes years to build a reputation and moments to destroy it forever. The backlash since has been unrelenting. His video is still bombarded with dislikes. Social media is in an uproar about the lies. He's even forced to put out a follow-up video. One issue, the video had completely different footage from his original video. More lies. So, I mean, it goes on a couple more. Let me just read these real quick. He sold his soul. He betrayed his country by attacking the most American-made car company in the world. He deceived his entire audience, all for a paycheck. Let this be warning to all creators. I hope you learned some lessons about reputation from this post. If you found it interesting, highly suggest you follow him and stuff like that. Colin Rugg said it, insane, great thread. And then he said it turns out all those glitter package videos were fake too, which that caught a community notes. That's funny.
Yeah,
But
that's
so-
why I'd heard of him, was the glitter palm packages.
Right.
But
And so-
yeah, I'm sure that a lot of what he does is fake, right? But it's the same way, right? You get the reference of being Mr. Beast before Mr. Beast, but Mr. Beast's been in a lot of lawsuits, and a lot of
Right.
stuff that he's done has been kind of exaggerated in the same way, right? It's not a complete lie, but it's a half truth type stuff.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And then so you have so I just found that to be an interesting aspect of this attack on Tesla. Its reach is even further than you'd think originally. And I think it's just worth noting and seeing that when you were talking about what's going on with Tesla and stuff and all that stuff. But we have Tim Walz. Thank goodness this dude isn't our vice president.
Oh,
He's out here. He posted, if you need a little boost during the day, check out the Tesla stock. So he said this during a speech recently.
Saying on my phone, I know some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So.
And the people cheer.
And if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, and take out, just telling you. Saying on my phone, I know some of you know this.
Stupid. It's funny how Teslas have gone from the car of the left to the car of the right.
Yeah.
I know.
It's insane.
What's crazy is I thought you were going to pull up something completely different, actually. Did you see his comment about what he said that he could do to Trump supporters?
No.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to misquote him entirely. But essentially along the lines, if he could beat Trump supporters' asses. Let me find that.
Oh, goodness. But Retard Finder commented on this one. Tubby little bitch ass retard. Tim Walz is now rooting for American companies to fail. It's not shocking. And that's like super valid right there. The Democrats, the people, the leaders, top to bottom, they root against America. They root for Trump to fail. All for Trump and Elon to look bad. It's pretty messed up. Like, I can remember during Obama having the arguments with my Democrat friends saying, I root for Obama to do well. I just hate what he's doing. As the American president, I hope he makes good decisions. I'm rooting for him.
Right.
But I can't get down with this Obamacare. So, you know what I mean? And some of the other shit he was doing as well.
Yeah, I got that video pulled up.
Right.
If you want to listen to this.
Yeah, you can
go to
play.
VP candidate Tim Walz thinks he can kick most Trump supporters' asses. Just give it a rip.
Oh gosh.
How do you fight it? This
I
notion
think
of
I could
tax.
kick most of their ass. I do think that if they wanted to. I know I can run them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
I think you should.
Right? I think most people would pick that up.
Bring it on, buddy.
Match up one-on-one, one Trump supporter per leftist. I'd like to see how
Let's
that
do
would go.
it. Let's do it. I'm in.
That's
I
funny
think
right
if
there.
we would actually return to a lot more kind of naturalized law if that was the case.
And
I
guess
think
which
if you
side's
settled
gonna
most issues
win?
like that.
Yeah,
Right.
for real. And it's clear which side will win.
Right.
Bring
Right.
it on.
Well, I think so. So Scott Jennings got involved. He's the based CNN, the only based dude that's on CNN. Basically, he's been crushing it lately. He posted on X here: the violent attacks on Tesla drivers, individual car owners, charging stations, are domestic terrorism. Exactly as President Trump described it, Elon Musk's derangement syndrome is on full display, and now it's getting dangerous. And I'm going to play this clip too.
There's also, on the subject of Elon Musk, there's been all kinds of vandalism against Teslas and Tesla dealerships all over the country. You know, Las Vegas, Kansas City, Encinitas, Buffalo Grove, Littleton, Mass. I grew up right next to Littleton, Mass. Loveland, Colorado, Tigard, Oregon, all over the place.
The other night, Donald Trump said these are domestic terrorists. Everybody laughed about it and scoffed at it. That video looks like terrorism to me. I mean, it's obviously an organized, coordinated effort, however people are communicating with each other, to do this to people around the country who chose to buy a Tesla at some point in the past, many of whom I'm sure are Democrats who bought them in the first place, all because their entire political worldview is ruled by their emotions. And that's the American left right now. It is one angry mob after another willing to take things into their own hands, up to and including
Look at her face.
bombing and otherwise vandalizing cars and car dealerships and charging stations. It's outrageous. It is terrorism. People ought to be put in jail and left there for a very long time and be taught a lesson. So this right here, what's going on with a guy who helps our country, who runs successful companies, who doesn't have to be doing this, and now one of his companies is under systematic terroristic threat and violence all over the country, and people seem to be laughing about it or fine with it. It's outrageous. I've sat at this table and had people say, we should cut Elon Musk from the government totally. He rescued our astronauts today. Is that what we want? The treatment of this guy is outrageous. These people who are doing this need to be found, put in jail, and made an example of. That's my point.
And you know, the crazy thing about this is while they're out here doing all this shit to these Tesla dealerships, Tesla drivers, you know, vilifying Elon Musk, he's doing something that nobody else on planet Earth was willing to do, which was rescue the NASA astronauts that were trapped in the space station for 10 months. You know, Biden regime rejected the help originally. And then, you know, Elon Musk gets it done in a relatively short time from being assigned the task. I mean, building something, you know, so specific, like that little module that they had to build, is not easy to design and actually build and make it function properly. And, you know, Elon Musk is a hero to those people. Those people were stranded in space. Like they had nowhere to go. And so it's, you know, it's pretty crazy how somebody mentioned it earlier. I think it was Matt Walsh said that, you know, 40 years ago, everybody on planet Earth would have been watching the astronauts return to Earth. Maybe even 20, 30 years ago, 100%. Everybody would have been, you know, every TV in school would have been tuned into the return of these folks yesterday. 100%. And it was really cool because like within 10 minutes, 15 minutes of it landing, a pod of dolphins started swimming around it and kind of doing like their circle of protection, almost like welcome home. We got you. This is a safe area. It was pretty cool. That's awesome. I don't know if you guys were able to catch that, but that stream was pretty awesome. And
well, I was going to say, just to add a note there too, you know, the Biden administration denied Elon Musk like it being a month after they had been stuck up there.
Yeah.
And reported that their reasoning was because they did not want to give good public PR to Donald Trump at the time, pre-election. Yeah. So they left the astronauts stranded because they wanted to maintain, you know, PR and not they couldn't get it done themselves.
Well, it's not the exact same, but it's of the same ilk of Kamala Harris leaving people locked up in prison longer so she could use them as slave labor to fight wildfires.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's crazy. So since we're talking about Tim Walz, I got this quick little clip. This one was a nice gem.
How should Americans view politicians who take pride in the downfall of an American car company?
I think that's quite sad, but I think Governor Walz unfortunately is living a sad existence after his devastating defeat on November 5th. Reagan.
How should Americans view?
Good.
I thought that was a good one. Let's see here. Our friend Native Patriot, he posted this. It's a good point. Want a funny way to save the climate, and it's Tesla's all on fire. One of them actually kind of explodes right here.
Such
That's,
bullshit.
that's probably when the batteries got hit with the fire. Let's see here. What else we got? We got a couple more. Protesters attacked the Tesla dealership and a Tesla employee in Canada with spray paint. I don't know who sells spray paint that shoots like this, but that's like straight up graffiti. Oh, they sprayed the guy.
Yeah.
It's like
an
insane.
advertisement for him, man. Like just spray paint, man. Spray something 20 feet away.
That's crazy. That should be illegal in itself right there. It's strictly for vandalism. That's the only thing that can be made for.
So that wouldn't probably be spray paint then, right? It's probably something you use to paint a spray can, like a can that you use to paint buildings that they fill paint. Like that's not a spray paint can, is what I'm saying. Right?
It's some type of spray paint can. It's not the typical one that we've seen, but that you normally see. But
yeah, I have no idea.
Being able to shoot it that far is pretty impressive.
Right. We don't have
It almost looks like a fire extinguisher style of spray paint. I don't know. Maybe they're modding fire. Oh, they are fire extinguishers.
They were fire
They're modding fire extinguishers by filling them with paint and pressure.
That
This
makes
is in Canada
sense.
too, by the way.
Yeah, that was in Canada.
Explains the French on that sign that I couldn't read.
Right. And then this was a Libs of TikTok post. Elon is bringing astronauts home from space while Tim Walz travels around crying about him celebrating the Tesla attacks. Innovation versus destruction. We are not the same. And so that's a good little point. And then one last topic. I know we're past the 9 o'clock, but I want to share this one too. This is just a couple clips, but Christopher Steele is back. Can't believe the guy showed his face and he got called out for it. He made an appearance on the Piers Morgan show.
Oh, is
Piers
this
Morgan.
with Scott Horton destroying him? I saw this already.
Yeah, Scott Horton and Natalie Winters.
Yeah.
I got two clips. Yeah.
Wait, Christopher Steele, is that the Steele dossier guy?
Yeah.
Who is he? Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, exactly who it is. So we're going to do, actually, I'm going to play this first one of Natalie Winters first, and then we'll play the one where Scott Horton weighs in. But this is great. They let him have it. Natalie Winters posted this herself. Make sure I'm following. Okay. Chris Steele just got called out.
Well, I know Christopher Steele probably wanted to go down in history as someone that colluded with the Clinton campaign to take down President Donald J. Trump, but I really think that you represent probably the ultimate grifter in the American political space. For you to even come on here, obviously you're trying to sabotage what President Trump is doing when it comes to Russia and Ukraine, but to sit here, what is it, nearly a decade after you tried to smear President Trump as a Russian asset, to then say, well, I think he's a Russian asset, but even though I'm really good at my job and create all these intelligence reports, it's just sort of a feeling that I have. I'm sorry, what stones do you even have left to turn over to try to corroborate your claim that President Trump is a Russian asset? You what? Weaponized FISA courts, surveillance, warrants, not just domestic spy agencies, international spy agencies too, the entire DNC apparatus, a bunch of political operatives and registered foreign agents here in the United States. The American people would really appreciate it if you would stop injecting your efforts to curtail and totally tank the America First movement by smearing anyone who doesn't want to get involved in forever wars or continue the needless and ceaseless dying of Ukraine and in Russia, just so you can sit there from your nice perch and just continue to defend the globalist world order by continuing to fan the flames of conflict in Russia and Ukraine. And you know what? The same people that you ally yourself with here in the United States, you think you're so good at gathering intelligence. Last time I checked, it was the 51 intel agency officers, spies, who said that the Hunter Biden hard drive, which I've reported on firsthand, it's legitimate. You want to talk about president's sons who are involved in businesses with foreign countries? Well, I'd like to introduce you to Hunter Biden, right? When those 51 people that I'm sure that you know all too well, you were probably likely involved with the drafting of that letter, said that that was Russian disinformation. Well, it turned out that that was true, and shame on you for the last decade trying to inject the idea that smearing President Trump as a Russian agent or a Russian asset is somehow going to tank the MAGA movement. It's about putting America first, and the fact that you can still sit here and you have no actual evidence beside one random Russian meeting, and oh, we need to just continue to get more evidence. You're a complete political hack and grifter, and I wish the American political scene didn't have your voice in it.
All right, well, Christopher Steele, you're
She should have ended that with "bitch." So
she nailed it.
just so you guys know, this is Anthony Scaramucci, and this is former Republican presidential candidate Joe Walsh, who is a Democrat.
And he looks like Epstein. He looks like Epstein.
Right. This dude is a straight up Trump-hating Democrat. This is Natalie Winters, and this is Scott Horton, center middle.
I don't know her.
Bottom.
Where do we know her from? Natalie Winters.
I can't. I think she's from Outkick. I think she's on Outkick. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think she works for the White House now, though, in an official capacity right now, I believe.
Oh, okay.
She
That's
should
cool.
have an official capacity at the White House. That was freaking awesome.
Okay, so
I'll put her up against anybody.
This is funny because it's still got a little bit of time left, and Christopher Steele is about to speak. And mind you, this dude's a Brit, right? I think he's a Brit, and he's got the English accent. Okay. And she starts to debate with him, and Joe Walsh comes to his rescue. And it's just it's so cringe, right? He wants us to protect him. But let's finish playing this another couple minutes, and then I'm going to play Scott Horton lacing into him as well.
Leave us because you're only here for this part of the panel. But your response finally to that.
My response is that I'm a professional intelligence officer and an expert on that part of the world. I'm not a politician.
Was the Hunter Biden hard drive Russian disinformation then, if you're such an expert?
Let him finish.
Why?
Let him finish. So I've been a loyal and close ally of the United States for probably most of the last 40 years. I've worked extremely closely with officials working for administrations, both Republican and Democrat. I have a very strong US client base for which I've worked and produced information over many years, none of whom have ever made any such allegation against me. And it's palpable nonsense to claim that I'm in hoc with politicians.
I'm so glad the Clinton campaign didn't say that about you.
Well, I never worked in the Clinton campaign. I never had any contact with the Clinton campaign. That's the reality of it.
Oh, you're a subcontractor.
I think Fusion GPS would beg to
I
differ.
produced a report for a partner firm in Washington, and the results of that report made me as an ally of the United States, as I would have expected an American counterpart to do, to report back in what I have found to the contacts I had in the FBI at the time.
Okay.
That was the right thing to do, and I'm proud that I did.
All right,
we're going to leave it there. Look, I think everyone's had their say about
I love
Christopher
his
Steele.
expert opinion.
Let's leave it there. I want to move on to other subjects. Christopher Steele, thank you for.
That's really funny. This dude hates Trump. This dude hates Trump. This dude obviously hates Trump.
Yeah,
Scott Horton is based. So okay, let's play this other one real quick. This one is from Clint Russell. Christopher Steele on the Steele dossier of the Steele dossier infamy had the audacity to show up on Piers Morgan today. Fortunately, Natalie Winters and Scott Horton were there to destroy him in the most satisfying way imaginable. Let's watch. And I think part of it's going to be a repeat of her, but this has Scott Horton's part included.
And this liar framed him essentially for treason. And by the way, his primary sources were a Russian named Danchenko, who had been under investigation for being a Russian spy in the past. And the only reason they had dropped is because they mistakenly thought he left the country. And then his partner, an American named Dolan, who actually was a registered agent of Russia. And they were the two primary sources who made up all those lies that you and I just recited, Pierce, that made it into Steele's dossier that they use. And none of it was true. Not the hacking of the DNC, not the Alpha Bank, not any of the Steele dossier. I'm amazed that this guy is willing to show his face in public right now when he was nothing but a washed up spy who hadn't had contacts in Russia for years by the time that he published that pile of lies.
And you know what? The same people that you ally yourself with here in the United States, you think you're so good at gathering intelligence. Last time I checked, it was the 51 intel agency officers, spies, who said that the Hunter Biden hard drive, which I've reported on firsthand, it's legitimate. You want to talk about president's sons who are involved in businesses with foreign countries? Well, I'd like to introduce you to Hunter Biden, right? When those 51 people that I'm sure that you know all too well, you were probably likely involved with the drafting of that letter, said that that was Russian disinformation. Well, it turned out that that was true, and shame on you for the last decade trying to inject the idea that smearing President Trump as a Russian agent or a Russian asset is somehow going to tank the MAGA movement. It's about putting America first, and the fact that you can still sit here and you have no actual evidence beside one random Russian meeting, and oh, we need to just continue to get more evidence. You're a complete political hack and grifter, and I wish the American political scene didn't have your voice in it.
I know that was a bit of a repeat, but it was worth watching twice because that was great. TNT said, damn it, now I have to watch the whole show. Right? I haven't even watched the whole show. That just came out today. But it's an hour long, that whole interview. I'm seeing it right here, actually. It's on my suggestion.
Well, that would be a good one for your show, right?
Yeah, I'll probably do some clips of it for my daily stuff, which I'm hoping to get back into tomorrow. Got all of my extracurricular activities and projects done and caught up with, so I think I can settle back into making videos and everything like that. But man, I couldn't believe the dude showed his face in public again. Like, what is this guy trying to do? Shame on Piers Morgan for even inviting him on.
Right.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Maybe he got paid to talk. I don't know. Who knows?
Right. TNT says, if you're innocent, come to the White House and see if you'll leave. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'd like to see a lot more arrests, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Love to see more arrests. Funny thing, did you guys see Alec Baldwin get put in his place by his wife this week? Or
Dude, that was such a brutal clip to watch. The best caption I saw on that was like, "Oh no, I totally understand why he killed that lady." I mean, this clip is insane. Like I don't even think this was the white. Like this, I think this is like already a different lady. I don't know if this is like his wife that he had at the time.
No, it's the same wife, Helena or whatever her name is.
Yeah, well, then it makes sense. Then I would have killed somebody too.
So you have the clip?
I'm gonna.
Yeah, you should be able to find it. It's been all over. I've seen it a couple times.
Right. Yeah, it's just right here. Hilaria. That's her name, not Helena. Hilaria.
That's her name?
Yeah, Hilaria Baldwin. But yeah, here it is right here. This is funny.
There it is.
I don't know where they're at. Planet Hollywood. I can't remember what this was for, but
There it
It's gonna
is.
be great.
You're
a winner.
Oh my God! When I'm talking, you're not talking.
Sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why. Yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show. There
It's
it
gonna
is.
be great.
You're
a winner.
Oh my God! When I'm talking, you're not talking.
Sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking.
dead inside.
Yeah.
I heard he started making fun of her accent after this. I don't know if this is true or not, but
No. I think we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it feels to have it be out there.
It's gonna be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God! When I'm talking, you're not talking.
Sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why. Yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show. No.
I know she was maybe trying to be funny, but lady, he's the one that's the famous actor.
Right. Nobody knows who you are.
Right. Nobody cares about when you're talking. Nobody cares about when he's talking, frankly, but I just thought that was hilarious. Dead inside.
I mean, I think this is a really raw show, and it's very
You're like, let me get the
and
fuck out of
we
here.
Took a lot of chances, and I think that we'll see where it leads us. We'll see what it feels like to have be out there, and then we'll see, if people like it. That's enough.
So it must be some sort of show she did, and so she's like, this is my moment in the spotlight. Maybe, I don't know. That's what I'm guessing. It sounds like it's a show she did. It's her show, and he was trying to chime in. Sounded like it.
I get it. I have no idea.
I have no idea. I just thought it was funny. He was saying you're great. She told him to shut the fuck up.
Oh, it's good.
I like that
but-
one is a good woman for less. The captions on it were just great.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So anyways, you guys got anything else you want to talk about? I think we pretty much ran the gambit. I did have the Ian Carroll talking about Jeremy Boering and Brett Cooper's response, but yeah, we're at 9:25. We should probably just go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah, there's only going to be one thing I mentioned. I celebrated that. I think I got in my car and danced a little bit when I saw Jeremy Boering guy just step down as from the Daily Wire.
Yeah.
Just some quick points because I don't have to go into the video at all because it's a long video.
Yeah.
But it turns out there's allegations that the Daily Wire is like broke. And it actually reports that they froze all of their employee credit cards at one point because they were actually so down bad on money. They had to make a whole freeze. They've had a hiring freeze in place as well, which is why Brett Cooper wasn't replaced with outside talent. They just took the producer and replaced her with someone who has kind of like no on-air experience at all. But also that the reason I added the Brett Cooper thing, her response in the tweet, she actually quoted, I believe, the Axios article, and she put like Jimmy Fallon like smirking. It's like a good gif. Because she's kind of just pointing at the fact that, again, her, Candace Owens, as well as the rest of them, all have to sign not only just non-DAs, but also non-disparagement agreements too. So they're a little bit different. They're both NDAs, but one's a non-disclosure, one's a non-disparagement. So it goes a little bit further in detail of what you're allowed to say, even if it's not disclosing information. But, you know, just smirking and giving hints to the idea that, yes, the reason that she left the company was because of harsh disagreement she had with Boering. And, but it's just a cool thing. It's a good thing to see.
Yeah, it is. It's funny because Tex Bomber's cracking us up. You have to change the name if Just Me becomes regular. Women can't open jars. that wins the comment of the night.
That's true. I mean, it is true. I do give jars to my husband to open. It's not a lie. So, wait, what was I going to ask you? Oh, so who's going to be taking the place of Jeremy then? Do we know? Who's going to be running things?
So no one's really sure right now. I think I saw what's been floated so far is because in 2023, Jeremy Boering and Ben Shapiro both went in with their own personal money to help save the company because it was apparently failing then as well.
That's what I was going to say.
Ben Shapiro,
and they haven't got their money back.
No, didn't get their money back. But Ben Shapiro actually hired an outside of the company PR person. So there could be there's some thoughts that maybe it just all falls apart. They were looking, I mean, they planted that news story, right? That Fox News was looking at buying the Daily Wire. If anybody remembers that from a couple months ago, it turns out that was planted. They had got that planted, even though no one had been looking at it. And right now it looks like Silver Equity Firms is looking at buying them out. Although Ian Carroll did make a video tagging them and saying, like, definitely look into their finances. They're probably a lot, muddier than what you believe them to be. So who knows? I think the best thing for it would actually for that to all fall apart. Be able to see particularly Matt Walsh go on his own individual route. I think he was really the only reason they were making money at a certain point. Two major movie productions.
Michael Knowles is all right as well, but Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh are like the only two over there anymore.
Right.
But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I was gonna add that I believe something that's been going on with them as well is they give away free subscriptions for a year. Like I noticed that I was watching a Matt Walsh video earlier today, and there was like if you signed up for something, then you got a free year of Daily Wire, and it's like all their numbers that they're propping up are all their members. I mean, they're not all necessarily paying members, like directly paying.
Right.
It's a way of getting people like into the membership and watching it. But that combined with, I believe, a movie that they're trying to make right now was way over budget. I want to say $5 million, but it might be $50 million. $50 million.
The Pendragon cycle. Yeah. That was Boring's like pet project.
Yeah. It's like $50 million over budget. So they're just spread way too thin, and they just don't have the talent to back it up anymore. Like letting Brett Cooper go, letting Candace go. Not being able to acquire Steven Crowder when they made the attempt. Look what Crowder is doing with the Rumble thing. Him and Jeremy Boering and Tim Pool, and they're doing this. They pass off the raid. They raid the next person and they retain their viewers rather than letting everybody scatter after the show. They send all their viewers on to the next show. And, Jeremy from the Quartering has had like 45,000 people watching him on Rumble the last couple of days during his live show in the afternoon, breaking personal numbers for himself and his show and stuff. And it's turned into a really good business motto for Rumble. They're going to take over the live stuff here for too long.
Well, I think all of them were privy to that, and I think largely probably because of Tim Pool. The portion with Tim Pool's involvement as well, which Ian Carroll got wrong, but he later corrected. So
yeah, it's Crowder and Tim Pool. Tim Pool thanked Crowder today, saying, "Man, we got to hand it to Steven Crowder for putting all this together."
Yeah, well, if people realize, Tim Pool was in talks with the Daily Wire for quite some time to either join on board or, some kind of merger there.
Well,
it turned out, at least
they were trying to sell it to him.
Well, that was actually what Ian Carroll got wrong. It turned out it was the other way around. But they were trying to buy Tim Pool on an all-stock offer, which meant they were trying to buy Tim Pool out completely, but not pay him for his show, but just giving him a large portion of stock in the Daily Wire. It's like almost a minority owner. And so ultimately, I think that's why things fell apart. And that kind of speaks again with that through line, which is like they're just running out of money like crazy. Like they were not putting out. And you have Candace Owens, in like 2 or 3 months, exceeds her subscriber count it was previously, and then it's getting more views daily than what Ben Shapiro is. I mean, like if you're an investor and you're looking at that, you're like, something's clearly wrong here. And why would she let go? Now this person's doing better than what you're supposedly, top talent is supposed to be doing. So people are probably backing out all the small donors as well. So probably right now, if they don't completely fall apart, it will require somebody with big pockets to come save them.
Right. Well, maybe Miriam Adelson.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised.
Right up their alley, right?
So I wonder if Candace was gone also in part because of the fact they didn't really have, they're running out of money. They're having money problems too. So I wonder if it was like a dual thing, not just her beef with Ben Shapiro, but also money problems.
Might have been.
Now that we know they're having all these money problems, I'm sure she was expensive. She's one of their best, people that they had.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah,
she attributed also to her with a relationship with Jeremy Boering as well. It wasn't also just like the feud with Shapiro. She had gotten into it over Boering and I believe Clavin as well. Those three are like at a tighter, like they're a tighter group. But as what Ian Carroll had reported, as well as I believe Axios did, Ben Shapiro and Boering haven't spoken to each other in like a period of time. Like they're not seeing eye to eye either. There's probably some real kind of like bad juju going on. And if Ben's not on your side then, and probably nobody's on your side there at the Daily Wire.
Right.
And he was kind of forced out as well too. Headlines are a bit deceiving. They basically told him like, we fire you or you step down. You just decide whether you want to keep your reputation or not.
Wow.
Right. So
yeah,
pretty crazy. Infighting on the right, but it's not the type of infighting that's going to destroy anything for the culture. It's just going to give people, Brett Cooper's voice wasn't removed from it. She just started making her own money, stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's one of those things where they tried to build up something too big, too fast, and it wasn't all legit support. But I think that's because partially there's this disingenuous kind of taste or feeling you get when it comes to dealing with the Daily Wire. That there's like, the joke about Ben Shapiro's favorite country, the way that they treated Candace, Jeremy Boering calling his employees wage slaves on the recording to Steven Crowder, the fact that Jeremy Boering refers to himself as the God King, the fact that he wants to be famous, he wants to be an actor, he's like pursuing his own like personal goals kind of with the company rather than having, doing what's right for the company. They're not his personal goals and what's the company aren't really aligned. He's no Dana White. And
he's been failed Hollywood. That's what most failed Hollywood people do. They try to, flee to the right or some other avenue and like make it there, right? And then you kind of like manipulate things. And you could see it in the commercials too, right? With like the, Jeremy's razors and Jeremy's chocolate and all the commercials they put out was, making him look like he's like this massive baller, and they're making all his female employees wear like scandalous clothes and such too, which I believe that was one of the major points Brett Cooper had outlined. Or supposedly, because obviously you're not supposed to know any of this, should break her agreements.
Right.
But her and another female employee, they like disagreed with what they were made to wear for those ads. And so it's kind of crazy that you have a conservative movement that like female employees are arguing about what they're made to wear for a commercial that they didn't get paid for because how their contracts are. You don't get paid for stuff like that. It's just like all this kind of crazy stuff. They just ran a very, very terrible company.
Right.
And I think that point stands out the most, what you had said, right? They're disingenuous. I think people are getting the idea, especially with the addition of Jordan Peterson as well, that there's not a very pro-Christian sense in this. They're kind of taking on a lot more of the Christless, conservative, secular ideals. Anything that was, overtly too Christian or even radically Christian, like in Candace's experience, was clearly shunned, and they didn't want that.
Right.
They wanted to maintain the bigger kind of net to catch or to send out for followers, money, and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly.
That's their downfall.
Yep.
Yeah.
So with that, I think we'll go ahead and wrap the show up there. Make sure everybody hits that like button, subscribe to the channels. If you're watching on America First, please do go over to the Jar Openers channel. The link is in the description. Subscribe over there. As I mentioned in the beginning, we are trying to move everybody, the show, from our individual channels to the collective Jar Openers podcast channel. That just helps out with our being noticed in the algorithm when you guys share the show. Because I know everybody out there is sharing the show. When you share it, we're not either sending people to America First or Atlas Thug channel and confusing the algorithm, right? It's all going to the same place. We're consolidating all the likes in the same place, all the interaction in chat, all the things that tell the algorithm that this is something that people want to watch, right? And so it's just to help the show out, to have a greater reach. We're not trying to do something weird where we're doubling up on your subscriptions or anything like that. So, and also if you want to still do the membership, you want to support the channels, you can always do that on our individual channels for now, because the Jar Openers isn't monetized. We're still got to go through all those processes of getting the watch hours and the subscribers and everything like that. So,
I was going to say you should give out free memberships now, but you can't because it's not monetized. Okay.
Yeah. I think I need at least 500.
Yeah, and I feel bad. TNT has a nice little streak on America First.
I know.
So does Andrea, and eventually once we get Jar Openers monetized, it's all going to switch over. So have to start back over, I guess. Hopefully, maybe. I feel like I owe you guys a little bit when it comes to that type of stuff, right? And so, anyways, I do appreciate everybody for being here. The numbers on the show on the new channel are great. Just to let you guys know, we had the average view time per viewer from last show was over an hour long. That's huge. Okay. We just need to get more people watching, and if people stick around for that long, it won't take long for the show and the channel to take off. That's for sure. So I much appreciate everybody for being here. I'm super grateful, and chat, you guys make it so fun. I really enjoy everything that you guys add. So with that, from me, Christ is King. I'll let you guys say whatever you want to say, and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, you said it all. Christ is King, and I'll see you guys on Saturday. And thanks for filling in, just me.
Thanks for having me. It was so much fun. Christ is King.
Yeah, we'll have you on again, and thank you for being here. You did an excellent job. I saw you got some positive love there in the comments as well. And make sure you guys join the Discord. We got the Discord link down there in the description as well. And we'll see you guys on Saturday.
Peace out, everybody. Good night.
Night.
With war rolling Atlas Thug, we here to bring the truth. Jar open this podcast, we breaking through the fake news. They try to silence us, but we will be subdued. We're bearded alpha males here to save the youth. Spitting fire on the mic with the bass, Christian takes. Exposing the lies, keeping the demons at bay. We ain't afraid to speak up, we won't be swayed. Jar open this podcast, where the truth is laid. Jar openers, cracking open the lies. We're rolling Atlas Thug, we're here to rise. Bearded alpha males saving the youth from the godless demons, spreading the truth. We ain't playing games, we're on a mission to awaken the masses with our intuition. Calling out the corruption with no inhibition. Draw open this podcast, sparking a revolution. We're not afraid to stand tall in a world full of deceit. We're the voice of reason, bringing light to the street, keeping it real, never missing a beat. Jar Openers podcast, where the truth meets the heat. Jar Openers, cracking open the lies. We're rolling Atlas thug, we're here to rise. Bearded alpha males saving the youth from the godless demons, spreading the truth. Jar Openers podcast, where the truth will never cease. Join us on the journey to bring back peace. We're rolling Atlas thug, fearless in our release. Jar Openers podcast, where the lies will decrease.